Alabama 26-20 the final there. Tennessee beats South Carolina, but not a very good day for Peyton Manning. That gets you caught up. Let's go back to Lexington. Charlie Steiner and Todd Christensen. Guys.
All right, Mike, and we welcome you to Lexington, Kentucky. We're expecting a passing shower in the next hour or two. Outside of that, it's a clear, cool night. It's a perfect night for football. LSU has won the toss, and they are going to receive. Larry Foster from his own 3-yard line. Cutting at the 15, across the 25, and already there's a flag on the play back at the line of scrimmage, so one would assume that they're going to kick this thing over unless LSU likes its field position.
Charlie, offsides by a long ways. Number 25 for Kentucky, Shamsuddin Anuligan. You see right here, way across there. You saw it right there, third from the right. A little bit anxious, wanting to make a play.
Offside, on the kickoff, penalty decline, first down.
Well, you've just met the referee, Rom Gilbert, heading up this SEC officiating crew, and LSU has pretty good field position, 1st and 10 from their own 27-yard line. Kevin Falk is the single setback. And Falk right up the gut for just a couple of yards and maybe to the line of scrimmage, nothing more. Let's meet the offensive unit of the LSU Tigers. Kevin Falk, 3 weeks back from that bad hamstring, and he doesn't have that lateral movement that he once did. Larry Foster is the leading wide receiver for the Tigers. He's caught at least 1 ball in 13 straight games, and Alan Faneca at right guard anchors the offensive line. It's 2nd down and 9. Banks joins Falk in the backfield, and here's Falk a second time, and Falk straight ahead. The ball is loose, but there is no play on that. Now, Kentucky defensively. Lamont Smith at defensive end. Actually, Kentucky uses a dozen different offensive or defensive linemen. You'll see a lot of them tonight. The linebacker, Bob Holmberg, has 35 tackles, 8 of them for a loss. And the secondary, anchored by Willie Gary. It's 3rd down and 6, and everybody at Commonwealth Stadium is standing. The pass is complete across the 45, down to the 45-yard line of Kentucky to Tyrone Frazier. 1st down.
I think that Frazier did very well as he pushes the man up the field. Tyler has plenty of time to survey what he can. They come with 5, but Tyler's going left all the way to Frazier, and Frazier runs an excellent hook route, pushing the defender up the field. Take a look here. Looking in the backfield, it's difficult sometimes for the corner, in this case Littleton Ward, not able to come back and make the tackle initially, and the result is some extra yardage for the Tigers.
At the 45, here is Kevin Falk, and he gets a couple of yards, run out of bounds, flag on the play.
Looked to me like Booty might have blocked in the back there at the end of the play.
It is against the Tigers. Abram Booty is a true freshman from Shreveport, Louisiana.
Look in the back, on the offense, 10-yard penalty, slide the ball, repeat, first down.
Well, trying to get some help here at the end of the play. Take a look at right there, pushes him in the back. Really, that's what the call should have been. But anyway you look at it, it is a booty call. 10 yards lost for the Tigers.
Very nice. 1st down and 20. At the 46-yard line. LSU now back in its own territory. Tyler's going to throw. Ball down the sideline. He overthrows the intended receiver, Larry Foster. 2nd and 20.
And this is what LSU felt like they could take advantage of, was some play-action movement, because they knew that Kentucky would have 8 in the box. And, of course, Tyler has been a little bit inconsistent. Take a look at the numbers there. You can see exactly what we're talking about. That Vanderbilt game is a game they barely won 7-6. And, of course, against Florida, the 172 yards belies the fact that he had over 80 yards rushing on the option, probably his best game of the season.
On 2nd and 20. Tyler's going to screen it to Falk. Falk's got some room. Falk to the 40. Falk finally down at the 30-yard line, and a first down, a pickup of 24 on the play.
About the only thing that was wrong with that play is that Tyler lofted the ball a little bit too much. Watch to your right of your screen, the line set up very well. And the first two initial attackers, watch them get knocked off. Boy, that's an outstanding job coming out and making the play is Alan Faneka, who is their All-American candidate. Falk right there shows something that some of the coaches have been talking about, and that's that his burst of speed is not quite there. That's a play that maybe a couple of months ago he could have gone the distance.
First and 10 from the 30. And here is Falk breaking a tackle to the 20. Falk to the 10. Falk scores. Correction, that was Rondell Mealy, number 7. Rondell Mealy, 29 yards in the touchdown.
Great blocking at the point of attack by LSU. And of course, the third down conversion arguably has got to be the biggest play of this particular drive. There it is, a little bit of a draw. Mealy makes the cut to the inside, and look at the burst up the middle. He's got a second gear, and of course he goes airborne now, which is the trait of many in contemporary football.
Snap. And so it is 6-0 LSU. On the snap, it all went wrong.
Casey Tabor, the snap isn't bad. It just goes right through his hands. The result is that LSU has a little bit of its momentum stymied.
Road double. ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by Keystone Light, America's never bitter beer, and by Mazda. Come see what happens when a car company has more engineers and fewer accountants. Mazda.
Well, now it's up to Tim Couch and the Kentucky offense. 6-0 LSU on the 29-yard touchdown run by Rondell Mealy. In his last 2 games, he had just 5 carries for 11 yards. And now Mealy with a 29-yarder and the 6-0 LSU lead.
It's kind of tough to break in there when you've got Cecil the Diesel Collins, who had rushed for nearly 600 yards in 3 games, and of course an All-American like Falk. Mealy certainly makes the most of his opportunities.
He's a sophomore, 6 foot and 203. This kick is going deep into the end zone, and the Kentucky Wildcats will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Anchored by Tim Couch, 6'5", 216 pounds. He is one of 4 Davy 14 Davy O'Brien finalists. Craig Eustace is his favorite receiver. You'll see about a half a dozen different pass catchers tonight. John Schlarman anchors the offensive line. And so now here is Kentucky, 1st and 10 from their own 20. The Wildcats throw the ball about 70% of the time. That is Yeast in motion. And what do you know? They hand it off to Derek Homer, and he gets maybe a couple on the play. Now defensively for the LSU Tigers, Chuck Wiley. He is one of the captains, 3 sacks on the season, 16 in his career. The linebackers headed up by Joe Wesley. Wesley is the team's leading tackler this year. And the secondary, Cedric Donaldson, has 6 picks on the season. He is 2nd in the country in that category. 2nd down and 8, trips to the right, and here's Couch. Little quick pass to Anthony White, and White probably lost a couple on the play. Chuck Wiley made the tackle, 55.
Part of the problem of having all 3 wide receivers on one side is certainly it's going to attract a crowd, and that's exactly what it does. The motion comes over, and you've got 4 blue shirts. Well, LSU's not stupid. They come flying out there, and White has no chance. There's nothing but Tigers all over him, and now 3rd and nearly 10.
And now Yeast is in the backfield. Now he's going to flank off to the left side. This is a wide open Chinese fire drill kind of offense employed by Hal Mumme. And flags fly and whistles blow before the snap.
Ball before the snap. Ball start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
It's really tough on offensive linemen when you're out of the shotgun, and especially when Couch decides to go with an audible. Take a look at the rock of the lineman. See the left guard move just a little bit sooner than he should have, but that's an anticipation of snap count, and sometimes it's difficult, particularly when the guy's back there 5 yards as opposed to under center.
On 3rd and 14, Couch from the shotgun. Couch with time, fires over the middle, complete to Jimmy Robinson. They'll mark it at the 30, and if so, that'll be a first down. They mark it just shy of the first down.
Well, this is great protection that enables him to throw the deep in route. Now, in this case, for Robinson, if he's able to keep his feet, he can easily get the first down. But instead, he's going to come up 4th and short. And once again, they're going to go for it, 4th and short.
At their own 30. And everybody in the joint is standing. And they've got a first down. And then some. Derek Homer. Across the 30, they'll mark it at the 37, 1st and 10.
This is not a new thing for Coach Mumme. He has gone for it on 4th down on numerous occasions here earlier in the season. And I think everybody, Charlie, including myself, might have anticipated, okay, he's going to give it to 65 Hudson, see if they can drop people off sides. Instead, no, he hands the ball off. The first down is gained by Homer.
The 25th time he's gone for a first down on 4th, and the 15th time he's made it. Gains a couple on the play, 2nd and 8. That was Anthony White.
Brought down by number 26, Chris Beard.
This guy is totally unconventional. Hal Mumme, after 5 years at Division II Valdosta State, comes in and he says, all right, I've got a passing game, and I've got a golden arm quarterback, and I've got some pretty good receivers, and we're just going to open it up. And he has. 2nd down and 7 at the 39-yard line. Here's Couch throwing out of the backfield. It is complete to Anthony White. And now here's Mike Adamley. Mike.
All right, Charlie, Todd, Holy, Herschel Walker. It's all over. The world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Georgia stuns Florida, the 5th rushing touchdown of the night. That one by Olandis Gary. And Georgia beats number 6 Florida 37-17.
We've done 2 Florida games. Who would have ever thought they'd lose by 20?
Well, who would have thought that on one day, Auburn, Alabama, and Florida would have lost all on the same day? Amazing.
And meanwhile, LSU happy to get all that news. And here's Couch in a lot of trouble. He breaks out of it, and he's able to run up the sideline and dive, I think, for a first down.
Charlie, no, he didn't. He stepped out of bounds a little bit earlier. The side judge has him out. So they're going to have to come back 3rd down. Take a look to the right of your screen. You'll get a chance to see what the side judge sees. This is the advantage of being 6'5" and 220. Pretty good athlete. Where's the foot? Right there. Right there, you can see the right foot comes across, and he doesn't quite get it. So they're going to have to come up 4th and kick it away.
4th and a long 3 is a little too long even for the gambling Hal Mumme.
Now, interesting here, though, Charlie. Carl Reese, the defensive coordinator, and the special teams coach, very cognizant of the fact that they have run their fair amount of fakes. And so LSU is probably in what's known as a safe. They want to make sure that Carter kicks this ball.
And Carter is prone to kicking it out of bounds. That is another Mumme philosophy. Instead of punting to their breakaway threat, they generally try to kick it out of bounds. Oh, that's a beauty. That's a beauty. That's going to bounce out of bounds inside the 10. Down at the 5. Jimmy Carter with a 52-yard punt.
What if your car slips?
Saturday night at 7:30, only on ESPN.
Jimmy Carter with a 52-yard punt out of bounds at the 5-yard line. They like to punt it out of bounds, and the reason is very simple. Hal Mumme has a philosophy. It's the best athlete on the other team who's receiving it. In this league, that means he's a future NFL player. The guy I'm sending to tackle him is a future CPA. Not a good matchup. 1st and 10. LSU back at their own 5-yard line with Kevin Falk. Falk is across the 5, maybe a couple on the play. Jeff Stediger and Marvin Major combined to make the tackle.
This is where the running ability of Herb Tyler would really pay off if they opted to do it. If he were to go bootleg here, there'd be a great opportunity for LSU to get out of this hole. Kentucky is concentrating their 8 people inside of the tackles, and the result of that, as you can see, that they're not particularly adept against the run. Last week, Robert Edwards, 186 yards, 127 of them on just 2 carries.
This is not a large defensive unit. Here's Kevin Falk. He's got some room. He's got some room down the sideline. Kevin Falk has finally run out of bounds at about the 21-yard line. Willie Gary pushed him out, but not before Falk picks up 16 more.
Excellent job downfield by Larry Foster. Watch to the right of your screen. He's gonna break, contain, get to the outside. What's his wide receiver doing? Is he making a block? The answer is yes. He's able to get him to where he has absolutely no control with Falk whatsoever. It may not be pretty, but it enabled Falk to get out beyond the 20.
Falk takes a breather, and Rondell Mealy with his 29-yard touchdown run will get some time, and that's Larry Foster, the leading receiver. And here is Mealy. Big hole. Mealy across the 25 to the 27.
This is the exact same situation that they had earlier. It's the same play. It's a little bit of a delayed draw that Mealy scored on before, making the most of his opportunities. The philosophy, obviously, of LSU is that not only do they want to run the ball effectively, but they want to take some time off the clock. Kentucky is famous for getting more plays than their opposition, and that's what LSU wants to avoid here.
On 2nd down and 5. That is Rondell Mealy again. Mealy down the sideline. Finally run out of bounds at the 44-yard line of Kentucky by Willie Gary. 29 more for Rondell Mealy.
Kentucky is doing a poor job of keeping people between the tackles. They're getting outflanked. Take a look at the blocking at the point of attack, and once again downfield, he's getting outstanding blocking from his wide receivers. The cornerback has no business getting pushed inside like that, but the wide receivers for LSU, in this case, once again, Foster doing a great job downfield for their tailbacks.
Mealy, 3 carries, 64 yards. His turn to take a breath, and Kevin Falk is now the deep back in the I formation, and here comes Falk. Cuts at the 35 and down at about the 33-yard line by Jeff Snedeker.
Ball carrier for LSU. In on the stop.
Once again, able to get outside. Take a look at the block by DiMaggio. Able to hook the defensive end, and that gives Paul clear sailing to get to the outside. This is really poor run support on the part of Kentucky. They're going to have to make some adjustments, and soon.
Kentucky was very fearful of the running attack of LSU. And we see why. LSU has 95 yards of rushing already, and here's Kevin Falk getting back to the line of scrimmage, and that's really about all. And the ever-present Jeff Snedeker and Lee Wesley combined to make the tackle.
Well, Snedeker's their leading tackler, 72 tackles and 10 tackles for loss. Had a little bit of a shoulder problem. Last year, he was their best special teams player, and he's evolved into being a pretty good tackler here for Kentucky, obviously.
Snedeker, during the week, his left arm is in a sling. And as you take a look at the left side of his pads, he's got much more protection on that left arm. And he is going to have surgery at the end of the season. 2nd down and 9. And here's Tyler to throw. And it's complete inside the 20-yard line to Abram Booty. And now Mike Adamle.
All right, Charlie and Todd down in Tallahassee, North Carolina State not playing down against the number 3 Seminoles. Jamie Barnett to Torrey Holt for 2 yards, and it's 41-28, and North Carolina State has just gotten the ball back. A lot of time remaining, guys.
Florida State and North Carolina will have at it next week. 1st and 10 LSU, and the rain that we told you about has arrived. Not expected to be here long. And Kevin Falk is brought down at the inside the 20-yard line. And now let's go downstairs to Chris Marlowe.
Charlie, it's raining right now, but we just received the weather report that rain is on the way. It's going to be a deluge in about an hour. It's supposed to rain for about 30 minutes. So I'm hoping that the rain is here now, and it's going to rain for 30 minutes, and then it will be over. Back to you.
As you can see, it's coming down pretty good, and everybody is putting on their colorful ponchos here at Commonwealth Stadium. It is 2nd down and 10 at the 18-yard line. Rondell Mealy is a single setback. This is the 9th play of the drive that began back at the 6th, and the wet turf has cost Herb Tyler. Robert Jones helped him take a seat.
Well, this is the first time that he goes with the drop back, and it's almost as if he is so surprised by Jones that his feet come out from under him. Jones would have had the sack anyway, but Tyler didn't help things by losing his footing.
And for Jones, his 5th sack of the season. He is a second leading sack producer. That was just his 5th. 3rd down and 15. Tyler firing over the middle, and it's complete inside the 15-yard line to once again Tyrone Frazier, but he's short of the first down by about a yard or two.
Be interesting here, though, Charlie, with the effectiveness of the running game, if they might want to think about going for it here. I don't see the field goal team sprinting on the field until right now. You see the catch, and he gets whacked just short of the first down.
And LSU has not made a field goal since the 2nd week of the season.
Well, DeNordo's doing the right thing here because this is a crucial situation. For whatever reason, they can't see him, and they're not getting the timeout.
Shades of Paul Pasqualoni. And now finally they get noticed, and LSU calls a timeout. 6-0, the Bengal Tigers.
As a highlight of our franchise.
Which team punted first and which team had the most passing yardage in the first half, and you could be going long all the way to San Diego. To score, call 1-800-643-8000 or touchdown on ESPN Sports Zone. Go behind the scenes with ESPN at the Super Bowl and win $1,000 from Visa. Play ESPN's Punt, Pass, and Win, presented by Visa, the official card of the NFL.
LSU, which has not made a field goal since the 2nd week of the season against Mississippi State. They've got Danny Boyd on try a 29-yarder. His longest of the season is 30 yards.
I firmly believe, Charlie, that the missed extra point has a lot to do with this. The reason why they're thinking about going for it, because the 10 is like a big lead. 9, well, wait a minute, they kick 3 field goals and tie us. So after due consideration, they opted to go for 3 here.
And into a driving rain and a wind blowing in Boyd's face. What? Well, that certainly juiced up the Commonwealth Stadium crowd, didn't it? David Ginn with the block. A 6'5", 224-pound senior.
Well, Eric Kelly gets off quickly, but you're absolutely right. In the middle, it was Ginn who was able to get up. Take a look at the leaping ability of number 44. Look at that. That actually hits him in the elbow, Charlie. I mean, he really got up there.
He got a 6'5" head start, and the rain is now coming down in torrents. And Couch, not bashful to throw. Short, complete. Only a gain of a couple on the play to Anthony White. Pickup of about 2 on the play. 2nd and 8 at the 22. White checks out of the lineup now. And Couch from the shotgun, where he spent. And there is motion on the offensive line. I think it was the left tackle, Jonas Leaning, 64.
Ball before the snap. Ball start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
As you can see, it is pouring. You know, when you and I were assigned to the SEC, I'm figuring we're going to warm weather in October and November. 3rd week in a row, we've had rain and temperatures barely touching 50. 2nd and 12. And here's Couch with time. Throwing long over the middle, incomplete, intended for Lance Mickelson at the 40-yard line.
Lance Mickelson, incomplete.
So it'll be 3rd down and 12.
Mickelson had a step to the post, but Couch is a little bit too early in his throw. Feeling the pressure.
Just underway with 4 minutes and 25 seconds to go in the first quarter. 6-0 LSU. Couch firing sideline, incomplete, over the head of James Whalen. Couch is now 4 of 6 for just 19 yards, and it's difficult to throw the ball in this kind of weather.
Well, the coaching staff for LSU admitted to the fact that if indeed it was going to be a bad night of rain and wind, that it certainly benefited them because of the running game. Couch thus far has been unable to find his rhythm, and certainly the inclement conditions haven't helped.
So Jimmy Carter, fresh off his 52-yard punt with no return, standing back at his own 2-yard line with Kevin Falk standing at his own 40 on 4th and 12. Snap from center in the left foot. It's a short kick. It bounces inside the 50 and finally rolls dead inside the 40. ESPN2's college football coverage continues next Saturday at 12:30 Eastern Time when Michigan State visits the 18th ranked Purdue Boilermakers. And then at 6:30, Todd and I will be with the Miami Hurricanes as they visit the Virginia Tech Hokies in a Big East battle. Tune in for all the action next Saturday on the Deuce.
Virginia Tech with a shutout over UAB today. LSU at this point, Charlie, 11 carries for 91 yards, 8.3 per rush.
And now the handoff is to Kevin Falk. He breaks outside and picks up about 6. Run out of bounds at about the 45-yard line of LSU. Bamadelli Ali and Jeff Snedeker in on the play.
One of the adjustments that Kentucky has to look at here is that for whatever reason they need to have their outside backers being a step outside the tight ends, because the big tight ends for LSU have been dominating their outside backers, enabling the runners to get to the outside.
Kentucky simply does not have the size on the defensive side of the ball. Falk again, and he gets nothing. Brought down at about the 45-yard line. Bob Holmberg made the play, 51. Nickname is Homie.
Mike Major's concern as defensive coordinator for Kentucky was to whether or not that Herb Tyler might be running the option. Well, certainly this is a play that would be very effective. Kentucky on that last play, of course, able to stuff them with the 8-man front. Now coming up 3rd and short, great opportunity for play action if that's what Tyler opts for.
On 3rd and 4. And there is motion on the line of scrimmage.
Ball before the snap. Ball start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Charlie, one of the things that Chris Marlowe documented early on was the 3rd down conversion. Well, if you can come up 3rd and 2 and 3rd and 3, you're a lot better off than coming up 3rd and 8. And those sort of mental errors are what are driving the coaches crazy.
It has been an up-and-down season for LSU. Prior to the Florida game, they eked out a 7-6 win at Vanderbilt, and then, of course, lost to Ole Miss at home. DiNardo looking desperately for some consistency, and there's another flag on the play.
Ball before the snap. Ball start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
So from 3rd and 2 to 3rd and about a dozen.
Interesting to see what's going to happen here with Kentucky, though. Are they going to blitz, take a chance? Are they going to come back in coverage? I would think that at this point, because of the difficulty in throwing the ball, at least right now while the ball is wet, that maybe they should rush 3 or 4, get back in coverage, give up a 5- or 6-yard play, and force LSU to punt.
Instead, Tyler is from the shotgun, and he's going to run it. And Tyler breaks a tackle. Tyler's still on his feet. Tyler is still on his feet, and Tyler may break it. Finally brought down at the 15-yard line by Eric Kelly, the quarterback, the last man between he and the end zone. A pickup of 52 yards on the play.
Well, on the first drive, I thought that I was going to see that quarterback draw. There was an outstanding call, but more significantly was the play that Tyler made to get him there.
And there's a flag on the field back at the 26-yard line.
I think it appeared that was a face mask, Charlie, and they'll tack that on.
Rom Gilbert getting entirely too much face time here in the first quarter.
Personal foul on the blue. Half the distance from the goal line for the try.
All that. And a personal foul.
Well, 3rd and 13, you're thinking this is a great call. Right away, he makes some movement, and the cuts here on the wet field are very impressive. There's the big missed tackles. Now, good block downfield. Tyler switches hands, does a great job getting downfield before he is brought down. Boy, that's a big-time run right there by the quarterback, and he's somebody that now pushes them well over 100 yards in terms of rushing here in the first quarter.
Tyler had the 72-yard run for a touchdown against Ole Miss 2 weeks ago, and now he's got a pass for Kendall Cleveland and a touchdown. 6 yards. It's now 12-0 LSU.
Great call. Everybody is bunched in, anticipating another run between the tackles. Tyler with a good play-action fake. Gets it to Kendall wide open. Watch to the right of your screen. The fake to Falk sucks in all the blue shirts. There's the fullback wide open in the flat. And it's just a little bit too late for the defender. In this case, Tremaine Martin. But in fairness to him, they've been running the ball so effectively. That's what he's got to be thinking of first. And now they've got to go for 2.
The depth of the LSU running attack. Remember, Cecil the Diesel is gone for the year with a broken leg, and he merely replaced Kevin Falk when Falk was out with the hamstring. And as you pointed out, LSU going for 2. Trying to extend their lead to 14. Here is Tyler, and he's not going to get it. So it's 12-0 as Jerry DiNardo's team now has the 2-touchdown lead, but no extra points to show for it.
But the weather, he's got to be feeling pretty good, because this is a night, if this rain lingers and the field starts to get torn up, to where the bigger people and the running team is going to dominate. And thus far, Kentucky has had absolutely no answers for LSU's running game.
Bob Holmberg is the biggest of the linebackers at 230 pounds. There are a couple of defensive linemen who weigh 275 and above, but you've also got defensive linemen on the Kentucky side of the field that weigh in the 220s and 230s, and you just can't get it done that way.
Well, the funny thing, Charlie, is that, you know, you and I, our lifetime span a little bit of football, and I didn't really think that I'd see the day when we'd be talking about the fact that he's 270. He's just too small. I mean, that just seems so strange to me, but you're right. At this point, certainly the strength and power of LSU has dominated Kentucky early.
Because of the lack of overall talent on the Kentucky's defensive side of the ball, they have had folks in the secondary move up to linebacker. Linebackers move up to the defensive line. And so as a result, everybody's getting upgraded.
Up to this point, Charlie, 13 carries for 150 yards. That's just staggering. And we're still 2 minutes left in the first period. So Kentucky and Mike Major have to make some major adjustments here, or else they're going to get blown out.
That was Kendall Cleveland. And that was Cleveland's first touchdown of the year. He led LSU with 10 of them last year. And here come the Tigers to kick it off. Fielded by Derek Holmes. And Homer across the 25-yard line. And let's go downstairs to Chris Marlowe. Chris.
All right, Charlie, has there ever been a Heisman Trophy winner that didn't make first-team all-conference? Well, that could happen this year in the Southeastern Conference to Peyton Manning. Compare the numbers. Tim Couch, Peyton Manning. Couch the advantage in percentage, touchdowns, and rating. Of course, Manning less interceptions, and he plays on a winning team. So who is going to be the first-team all-conference quarterback in the SEC? Of course, Georgia's Mike Bobo. Back to you.
What a big day Bobo had against Florida.
And conversely, Charlie, Manning was not very effective in his game today. He was, I believe, if I saw the statistics right, he was either 8 for 23 or 8 for 25. So this Heisman thing, as far as I can see, is wide open.
Still wide open, absolutely. Meanwhile, there is a downed LSU defender. Let's go now to Mike Adamle. Mike.
All right, Charlie and Todd, while you two are on the subject of hot quarterbacks, how about Florida State's Thad Busby? This touchdown pass number 5, the third TD reception for E.G. Green. It looks like the Seminoles have put this one to bed. They lead by 20. Guys?
And here LSU leads by a dozen with 2 minutes and 2 seconds to go in the first quarter. It is still raining fairly heavily, not in the torrents that it was just a few minutes ago. Troy Twilley is the injured LSU Tiger. As you see the rain coming down, and there is a definite chill in the air. Troy Twilley, a right cornerback, is down and now slowly being ushered off the field. The NFL on ESPN returns tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern time with the NFL's, or two of the NFL's biggest stars set to kick it off. The amazing Barry Sanders and his Lions take on Brett Favre and the Super Bowl champion Packers on the season debut of ESPN's Sunday Night NFL tomorrow night at 8 Eastern time. First and 10 for Kentucky, and here is Couch throwing to Yeast, and boy, he is really hit at the 31-yard line by Cedric Donaldson. Pickup of about 4 on the play.
Yeast certainly paid for his 59th catch of the season. Donaldson, of course, with the 6 picks, 2 for touchdowns. Opportunity to be an All-American. Yeast is the go-to guy for Kentucky.
Kentucky has 7 receivers with 20 or more receptions. Trips off to the left side now. Couch from the shotgun. 2nd down and 5. Couch 5 of 7 for 24 yards. Pump fake, throws over the middle. It's incomplete. Knocked down at the line of scrimmage.
Got what they wanted. They had the 3 wide receivers to the left, and they're going to have the tight end on a little delay underneath. Watch the bottom of your screen. That's number 37 for Kentucky, Jimmy Haley. He's going to hesitate. Now he's going to come out wide open. There's nobody there. But ruining the play at the last minute is number 95, Johnny Mitchell, who gets the left hand up to bat it down.
6'5" and 300 pounds. On 3rd down and 5. That's Yeast in motion. Couch throwing underneath, incomplete. Intended for Anthony White. And it will be 4th down and 5.
Anthony White, incomplete.
Even if he makes the catch, Charlie, he's going to be a little bit short. Give LSU credit here. The offense has established themselves, and of course, certainly the Tiger defense has to be well rested, and they've been giving Couch some problems.
And Kevin Falk standing back at his own 30-yard line, awaiting the punt of Jimmy Carter. Carter with 2 punts tonight and 49-yard average. Left-footed kicker from Dunwoody, Georgia. It's a fake, and it's a pass, and it's complete to the 50-yard line. Jeff Zerker. Zerker with the catch. Jeff Zerker has been nominated to be a Rhodes Scholar. And that was some intellectual pass catching there and a 1st down.
Interesting that the comment was that anytime Dusty Bonner is in the game, they have to prepare for the fake. Well, Bonner puts the ball right on the numbers, and Zerker makes the catch. Donaldson the tackle, but once again, boy, oh boy, the nerve of Hal Mummy. Got to give him credit.
2 for 2 when he's tried it on 4th down, and here's Couch in trouble. Rolling. He's going to run it this time. Couch is going to pick up some yardage, too. Couch may have got himself a 1st down. Boy, is there anything he can't do?
You know, getting back to that particular play with regards to Hal Mummy, if you remember in the early 80s, the Seattle Seahawks had a coach by the name of Jack Patera who seemed to be doing a lot of that, a lot of the fake field goals, a lot of bizarre things. The thing with Mummy, though, is that he picks his spots and doing it opportune times. And especially he's been able to do it when people aren't paying any attention. 2 for 2 in a situation like that is really outstanding.
1st and 10 at the 39-yard line of LSU. Couch better get rid of it. He's able to. Derek Holmes. And Holmes ends up picking up about 7 on the play. Talk about making something out of nothing.
Well, this is the strength of the quarterback, Couch. We mentioned the fact that at 6'5", listed at 216, probably around 20 or 22. He is able to shake off the bigger man, in this case Arnold Miller, to get the ball out to the back and make something happen instead of absorbing the sack.
Derek Homer. Pick up a 5, 2nd down. And 5 yards to go. They replace the football with a drier specimen. The line of scrimmage is at 33. Couch is in the shotgun once again. And he's in trouble this time. Smeared back at the 45-yard line by Arnold Miller. And for Miller, his 4th sack of the season.
Miller just decided in this case there's no way you're getting away. And of course, I don't know what the mix-up was on the offensive line because he just absolutely was able to whack Couch.
And that ends the first quarter. LSU has put on quite a running attack. Rondell Neely from 29 yards away. And then they finished off a big drive of 94 yards on the pass to Kendall Cleveland.
College football. Hawaii.
There's something about it.
So following the sack, it is instead of 2nd and 5, it's now 3rd down and 15 for Kentucky. And the line of scrimmage is LSU's 43. Derek Homer is the single setback. And Couch is up over center. Couch throwing on the run and completing it at the 28-yard line to Lance Mickelson, and that should be enough for the first down.
Couch really showed a lot on that because he was able to throw on the run. They come with the safety blitz to the outside. He gets picked up. Now he's running forward off the right foot. Just as he gets hit, he delivers the ball to Mickelson outside. Boy, this is really a good job by Couch. Mickelson looks up. He's got the comeback route. He turns Donaldson around a little bit, gets his feet down. Generous spot by the official, but they'll take it.
Mickelson, one of the 7 wideouts for Kentucky with 20 or more pass catches this season. So it's 1st and 10. Trips to the left side now. And here's Couch looking over the middle, firing incomplete. Intended for Merritt Crow. The fans think there should be a flag. There is none. Now Chris Marlowe down on the field. Chris?
An injury update to LSU nickelback Troy Twilley. He's got a left shoulder burner, and he is going to the locker room, so apparently he will not play anymore in the first half. Charlie?
2nd down and 10 for Kentucky.
I think it's important that Chris Marlowe define what a burner is.
That's a stinger.
Oh, well, okay. That's cleared up then.
Well, I'll let you, Doc. You've had one or time or two. Here's a pass over the middle, and it is complete. Anthony White to the 15-yard line and a first down. LeBlanc and Smith combined to make the play, but not before the first down.
Couch has plenty of protection. This is like the 4th choice right there. You can see Smith out of the backfield waving his arms, gets the ball, and does the rest as a running back. If Kentucky's able to get that kind of pass protection, then Couch can start picking them apart.
1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Couch in the shotgun now with Derek Homer in the backfield with him. Trips to the left side. Hand off to Homer. Homer will get maybe a couple on the play. Chuck Wiley is there to greet him.
And if Wiley doesn't, they're going to get the first down. Wiley is able to find the pulling guard. There's some blue shirts out in front. The Tigers are a little bit on their heels right now, but Wiley was able to see it and make the play. Good play there by Wiley.
Chuck Wiley is the leading tackler among the defensive linemen of LSU. 2nd down and 8. This is the 12th play of this drive for Kentucky. Their most sustained offense of the night. And here's Couch. Quick toss. It's complete. Lance Mickelson. Mickelson is inside the 5-yard line. And a 1st and goal. They'll mark it at the 2.
Staple of their offense is the flanker screen, and that's what they get. Mickelson comes out. Jailbreak is what one of the terminologies they have for it. You can see the blocking downfield. They caught LSU in kind of a soft zone. Mickelson able to come underneath, gets good blocking downfield as he gets inside the 5.
As productive as the Kentucky offense is, they only have 4 rushing plays and 10 passing plays. That's it. But it works. And here's Couch into the end zone. Yeast can't hold on. May have been tipped away in the last moment by Chris Cummings.
What I'm surprised here is they don't take the opportunity to run the ball in, but give Mummy credit, keeping him off balance all the time. Does the left arm get in? It certainly doesn't. Goes right through the arms of Yeast. Good release at the line of scrimmage. Good throw. Watch just between the hands. Hand never gets in there. Classic case of you got to have your elbows together and catch the ball high on the number.
Second and goal of the 2. Trips to the left side. Couch calling an automatic from the shotgun. Quick toss. Oh, it's nearly picked off. Intended receiver was Derek Homer.
Derek Homer, incomplete.
One of the difficulties here, Charlie, of the wide open fast break is that sometimes you can't just punch the ball in. Ball hits him right in the hands. Very catchable ball, but Homer doesn't come up with it.
Arnold Miller was there. So now suddenly it's third and goal from just outside the 2.
Ought to take a page out of the LSU book here, Charlie, with a quarterback draw.
Homer, the single setback, trips to the left side. Here's Couch, rolling, stopping. He's in trouble. Toward the end zone, deep into the end zone. Touchdown, Kentucky! Lance Mickelson!
And Mickelson certainly did Couch a favor, trying to buy some time, backing up. I think his intention is just to get rid of this ball, but Mickelson a little bit more aggressive, goes over the top and is able to take it away from Donaldson for the score.
For Lance Mickelson, his 6th touchdown catch of the season. And for Tim Couch, his 31st touchdown pass. The extra point. We've got ourselves a ball game. Kentucky is back within 5.
We have a deal.
Today, the best opportunity.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. For an Aussie good time over an awesome steak, get to Outback Steakhouse. Outback Steakhouse. No rules, just right. And by Image Anywhere from Canon, the new paradigm for the digital workplace.
45-year-old Hal Mummy has his Wildcats back in this game following the big drive. And the touchdown pass from Couch to Lance Mickelson. This is a little pooch kick fielded wisely at the 36-yard line by Rondell Mealy.
Number 7, Rondell Mealy on the fair catch for LSU.
Well, Tim Couch was able to start to get a little bit of his rhythm. You can see the excitement here as he's trying to get the crowd involved. You know, we've been praising Mummy up to this point for some of the decisions that he's been making. As you take a chance, as you get a chance to see and look at the scoring drive. This pooch kick makes no sense to me, Charlie. Why give him the ball at the 36-yard line?
Kevin Falk, the single setback. And here is Falk turning the corner and fails to get back to the line of scrimmage. Jeff Snedeker is there to greet him. Lee Wesley also in on the play.
Kentucky has made some adjustments here in terms of their outside backers, trying to outflank the tight ends a little bit, not getting caught on their inside shoulders.
No gain, 2nd and 10 at the 36.
After 2 relatively easy touchdowns for LSU, you get a sense now that Kentucky has made some adjustments, and we'll see. On 2nd and 10. Here's Tyler. Throwing on the run, and he completes it to the 50-yard line to Larry Foster. Now here's Mike Adamle.
Okay, Charlie and Todd, Oklahoma State trying to bounce back after being upset last week against Texas A&M. They led 7-0, but the Aggies counter on this reverse play. Chris Cole goes 42 yards down to the 2-yard line. They scored a play later. It's 7-7 at Kyle Field. Guys?
1st and 10 LSU at the 50-yard line after the 14-yard reception to Foster. Abram Booty is flanked way out to the top of your screen. Banks and Falk are in the backfield in the I formation. Here's Tyler to throw. Sideline, and he completes it at the 50-yard line to Larry Foster, and he falls backwards. Pickup of just a couple on the play. Eric Kelly, the cornerback, made the tackle.
One of the things here, though, is that with the first run of Falk, which ended up being a 1-yard loss. Since that time, they've opted to go with the play action back-to-back, and even though that wasn't a big gainer, they did complete both balls.
But only a pickup of 1. Second down, and about 9 yards to go. The rain continues to fall, not as heavily as it did in the first quarter. Falk and Banks in the backfield. Here's Kevin Falk around left end. Falk dives ahead to the 45-yard line. Now downstairs to Chris Marlowe.
All right, guys, according to NCAA rules, football cleats can be no longer than this, 1/2 inch. Now, the rule's been on the books for a while, but interestingly, it's only been enforced recently. 2 years ago, the game between Tennessee and Ohio State, rainy, sloppy conditions like this, Tennessee used 3/4 inch soccer cleats. NCAA said, no, it was prohibited, and that's why we have 1/2 inch cleats now. A lot of slipping and sliding.
As the rain continues to fall on 3rd down and 5, Tyler has time, fires in and out of the hand of the intended receiver, Tyrone Frazier, and that, I think, was simply a matter of a wet ball.
Well, I think the other thing, too, is it looked like it was a little bit tipped at the line of scrimmage. The ball changed, but certainly a catch of a ball, as you point out. There he is wide open, right in the arms, and he drops it.
And so on 4th down, Chad Kessler to punt it away.
Charlie, this would be an opportunity for LSU to go with their fake punt. About the 46-yard line, good opportunity right here, 4th and 5. But no.
And the punt is out of bounds. And they will mark it at the 31-yard line, where Kentucky and Tim Couch take over. Couch Potatoes take notice.
Well, one of the things that he's been able to do thus far effectively is that look at the people hanging all over him. He's been throwing from a lot of different angles. Here you can see him, he throws off the wrong foot. Guy draped over him, on the run, backpedaling. He can do it all. Amazing to think he's only a sophomore.
He is the real deal. He has set a school or conference record every week this season. And he will likely break another one tonight. He's 10 of 17. 1st and 10 from the 21-yard line. Quickly over the middle, a one-handed catch by Jimmy Robinson for a 1st down.
Wow. Number 9, Jimmy Robinson. Number 26, Chris Beard on the tackle for LSU.
Certainly not one of Couch's better throws. And take a look at the ascension by Robinson. Oh, man, it sticks in the Tackify glove. Beautiful, babe. I got a stat. Great catch.
1st and 10 for Kentucky. And the line of scrimmage is now the 35-yard line. Couch now calling another automatic. Time fires, and it's nearly picked off. The intended receiver, Jimmy Whalen, couldn't hold on, and it was nearly picked.
One of the things that's important for the receivers of Kentucky is their ability to do something after the catch, and you can see the total tonight, 34 yards after the catch, indicates that the Kentucky receivers have been doing their job once they catch the ball and cut up field.
2nd down and 10 at the 35-yard line. This time Couch from the shotgun. 4 flankers, this time a handoff. Anthony White. He gets just a couple of yards.
Anthony White, the Kentucky ball carrier.
Chuck Wiley was in on the play.
Interesting to see what's going to happen with the defense of LSU here, Charlie. And what I mean by that is that how much of a taxing is it mentally? Of course, right now they're supposed to be getting their rest, you know, as they stand there and wait. But mentally, you always have to be focused to see what it is Kentucky's going to do next. And that can sap you over the course of 4 quarters.
Here is Couch throwing quickly to Lance Mickelson. Mickelson just shy of the 1st down. So far tonight, Kentucky has run the ball 7 times and passed it 21. 3 out of 4 they throw.
And I'm not sure this means anything, Charlie. 4th and this short. Remember, they went for it on their own 30 before. So if this is short again, which evidently it isn't, because the official just indicated 1st down.
1st and 10 at the 45-yard line.
I'm with you. It looked to me like he was a little bit short of the line, but once again, a generous spot.
And now Couch, this time from the shotgun. They use 4 wideouts nearly every single play. And this time, Derek Homer moves out of the way, and here's Couch to throw. Looking right, running right, and he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage at the 41-yard line. Arnold Miller and Chuck Wiley in on the play.
28 Arnold Miller, flag down on the play.
There is a flag, and it is holding against LSU. Jerry DiNardo can't believe it.
And Jerry DiNardo can't believe it because he's saying to himself, wait a minute, didn't they just run? I said the idea is running right there.
Holding on the defense. 10-yard penalty. Previous spot. 10-yard penalty results in a first down.
Take a look right here at number 98. He's going to take a grab right there, but the issue right there is the fact that he's already into the run. And so tackling a guy away from when he's not downfield and running a pass pattern doesn't make any sense. I think Miller got a bum rap there.
First and 10 now for Kentucky into LSU territory for the second time tonight at the 45-yard line. Here's Couch throwing sideline, incomplete, about 5 yards in front of Craig Yeast, who is defended by Chris Cummings.
Incomplete.
Couch willing to acknowledge the fact that, hey, I had you open, I just didn't get you the ball. Sorry.
Last year, when Kentucky lost to LSU 41-14, Couch played sparingly. 2 of 4 for 20 yards.
Well, of course, then that was the option offense that was integrated by Bill Curry and his staff, and Billy Jack Haskins was the man at the time.
And now Tim Couch is the man under the tutelage of Al Mummy. Second down and 10. That's Mickelson in motion. And Couch to throw. Throwing. And it's complete to Chad Yeast. Breaks the tackle. Down the sideline. Yeast is out of bounds at about the 9-yard line. Well, they're going to mark it way back at the 23 where he first stepped out.
Look at the touch by Couch on this ball. Yeast is coming across the field. Look at the soft lets him run underneath it. Great catch. Stumbles right there. Yes, he did. His foot was out of bounds. Good job by the official being right on top of it. Yeast with a tremendous catch. Breaks the tackle. Now watch the foot right there. There's the left foot right there at about the 23-yard line. Official right on top of it.
And so LSU, which started so brilliantly on the ground, here comes Kentucky, first and 10 at the 22-yard line with a chance to take the lead. Here's Couch to throw, firing incomplete, intended for Lance Mickelson, and he took a pretty good pop from Chris Cummings.
He certainly did. One of the things that's no fun is when you're exposed running the crossing route and the quarterback leads you a little too much.
Mickelson is shaken up on the play. The hit was actually delivered by Clarence LeBlanc, 18, instead of Cummings, 19.
He had time to brace, but still he wasn't able to, and Cummings delivers a big-time blow. I can tell you from experience that hurts.
We're going to take a break as they attend to the fallen Lance Mickelson. 12-7, LSU.
My patients are like family to me. Athletes hanging out at Sports Center all the time. The one thing they have in common, though, they all...
During the timeout, Lance Mickelson, who took a big league pop, has been on his back. Only now is he getting to his feet.
Here, the concussion of that collision by Clarence LeBlanc caught him right into the chin, and it looked like he might have been a little bit woozy. He's up on his feet now. Hopefully he'll be okay.
Well, Mickelson is walking off very slowly. He's 6'3", 170 pounds, from Salina, Utah.
Being very careful with that shoulder or collarbone. Be looking forward to an update from Chris Marlowe.
The right shoulder. He scored the only touchdown of the game so far for Kentucky. LSU controls the ball on the ground. Kentucky controls it in the air. And Kentucky has had a greater time of possession and more plays. Second down and 10. Couch from the shotgun at the 23-yard line. The handoff is to Homer. And Homer is out of bounds at the 7-yard line, but there's a flag back at the 15.
It's going to be holding or going to bring it back. Unfortunate, because he was able to get a block below the waist. It appeared that he was able to get the corner.
Al Mummy demanding an explanation and not liking what he has to hear.
On the offense, 15-yard penalty, spotted a foul, still second down.
Watch the left of your screen as you see the block right there. Blocks him just below the waist. The difficulty with that particular call, as you saw, is because the guy jumps in the air and he's going to hit him in the chest, but as soon as he jumps up, that's a subjective call by the official as to whether or not it would have been that had the player not jumped.
It is now second down and 18 yards to go for Kentucky at the 30-yard line, as the officials are discussing field position. Ron Gilbert is the referee tonight, heading up the SEC crew. Well, now we're ready to play. Second and 18, and Mickelson is now heading toward the locker room. Troy Twilley, the cornerback for LSU, is in the locker room, and now Mickelson goes to the Kentucky locker room for attention. On second and 18. Handoff. No, it's a fake handoff, and here's Couch running right. Running, rolling, throwing, and it's incomplete.
Well, Crow was able to come over the ball. Watch where his feet are at the end. His feet are completely out of bounds. Good call by the official.
Merritt Crow, the intended receiver. He's 6'2" and 175 pounds. Total yards so far tonight for Kentucky. The second quarter has belonged to the Wildcats. First quarter, all LSU. It's 12-7 with 7:14 to go in the half. Here's Couch in trouble, rolling, throwing, passing, completing inside the 20-yard line to Jimmy Robinson in the first down.
This particular play shows the poise of Tim Couch as LSU decides to come with an all-out blitz. They're going to come with 8 people. Couch able to roll to his right and calmly deliver the ball to Robinson, who makes the catch and gets up the field. I'm more impressed as the game goes on, as they probably could have had 15 yards in that one well out of bounds. Nonetheless, I'm impressed with Couch's poise and his ability to do the things that he's been doing.
Short of the first down, it's 4th down and 3. Kentucky is 2 for 2 tonight on 4th down conversion.
Charlie, though, you're down by 6 points, so a field goal here.
And here's the pass, and it's complete, and it is a second effort, maybe a first down. The second effort by Jimmy Haley, the 238-pound receiver. First down, Kentucky. 3 for 3 on 4th down.
Haley made a terrific catch on this ball. Watch how low this ball is. Couch is going to roll to his right. Watch the catch by Haley. Look how low that is. And picks it off the shoe tops. And as you mentioned, Charlie, second effort enabled him to get the first.
Cedric Donaldson couldn't bring him down. Donaldson at 175 and Haley at 238. And now Kentucky is going to call a timeout. They're on the move and trailing by 5.
Ever since I can remember, Jake did things his own way.
Nobody believed him when he said he was going to surf the processor. How do I get the news on this thing?
Coming into the game, Hal Mummy's team was good out of 14 out of 24 on 4th down attempts. Tonight, they're 3 out of 3. Conventional, not so conventional on a fake punt. And just now, the terrific second effort by Jimmy Haley and his 238 pounds, giving Kentucky the first down. 3 for 3 tonight. And now 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. The ball just outside the 10-yard line. At the 11, they can still get another first down. Couch back to throw. Firing over the middle, and it's complete. And it's a touchdown. Kevin Coleman, 11 yards. And the Wildcats lead 14, make it 13-12.
One of the the fascinating things about this, Charlie, is that they keep coming up with different heroes. So many times we've been in college football games, and they keep going to the same guy over and over again. Kentucky has really spread the wealth around. That's just not a cliche. A number of different players here have come up with big plays in this last drive.
And now the extra point try for Seth Hansen. 19 out of 20 on the season.
Why aren't they going for 2 here?
20 out of 21.
Charlie, it makes no sense here. You wanted to go up by 3. You're already up by 1. Should have gone for 2 in that situation. Crossing route, and as we mentioned, somebody he hadn't gone to up to this point. Coleman able to break the tackle and come in, gets a little bit of a block in for the touchdown. Charlie, you documented it earlier, a very cogent point, and that was that they had 7 different receivers with 20 catches or more. That gives Couch the luxury of saying, hey, look, I can go to a number of different people. I'm not stuck on just 1 or 2 people. And you can see Couch is pretty excited about it, and excited for Coleman as he sprints over to congratulate him.
Kevin Coleman, his 7th touchdown reception of the season. And there is Coleman. The rain has pretty well stopped. We had a torrential downpour in the first quarter, a steady rain in the early part of the second quarter. The field is still quite slippery, but it certainly has had no impact on Tim Couch's extraordinary ability to throw the ball. Kentucky, in its first 2 drives tonight, 10 plays for 21 yards. Since then, in their last 2 drives, 26 plays for 153 yards.
Well, Charlie, I don't know that it's all that coincidental that when the rain stopped, you started to get a little bit better rhythm.
Tim Couch on that particular drive, 6 of 10, 74 yards, and the touchdown. And the Wildcats, a touchdown underdog coming into the game, lead it by 2 with 6:27 to go in the half. Seth Hansen to
Once
kick it
again,
off.
the pooch kick.
Rondell Mealy breaks a tackle. Mealy still on his feet. Mealy is finally brought down at the 49-yard line.
This is a good adjustment by LSU. That last time they had the flag, or they had the people that weren't necessarily ball catchers, to put Mealy in that position, but it's going to come back. A flag is down.
Holding against LSU.
That's going to be about a 30-yard penalty, Charlie. Instead of starting at midfield, they're going to be closer to about their own 21.
Legal block in the back. On the return team. 10-yard penalty. Spot of the fall. First down.
Tomorrow morning at 10:30 Eastern Time here on the Deuce, the 28th running of the New York City Marathon. More than 29,000 runners from around the world, all 50 states and 100 countries. The race begins at the Verrazano Bridge at Staten Island and ends up in Central Park. And there is Tim Couch, and there isn't much he cannot do. He's big, he's strong, he can run, he can throw off the back foot, he can throw with touch, and he can fire it when he has to. And Kevin Fox going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage, but Bob Holmberg. For Holmberg, that is his 9th tackle of the year for a loss.
Holmberg shoots the gap here, comes behind the pulling guard, no one accounting for him, and he drops Falk in his tracks. Johnny, we mentioned this earlier. This would be a good opportunity now that you're looking at LSU and they're struggling a little bit in their running game. This would be the time for them to break out a little bit, minus the rain, and give their option a try.
Second down and 17 yards to go. This time out of the I formation. Falk is the deep back. And here is Tyler to throw long over the middle, incomplete. Intended for Outram Booty. Flags on the play, 2 of them at the 45-yard line.
Question here will be whether or not it was defensive holding or if it's pass interference.
Rom Gilbert in discussion with the side judge, Tom Zamansky. Holding against Kentucky.
Holding on the defense. 10-yard 5-yard penalty, previous spot, pass across the neutral zone, automatic first down.
Well, you can see the coverage right there. There, he's well past 5 yards, and hanging on to him right there is, yeah, that's kind of a gimme there. Tony Woods is all over Booty in that case. Surprisingly, Booty didn't turn around and beef about it, but of course maybe he was able to see the 2 yellow flags and realize that he got what he needed.
So LSU now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. 5.5 minutes to go in the first half. Here's Tyler to throw again. Over the middle, and it is complete. Actually out at the sideline. Pass was complete to Abram Booty again, and he beat Tony Woods again.
Well, that's a great call right there, because Booty had just beaten him deep, and so this time, why not? Let's come back at the same play. Cuts to the outside. Looks like he might be going up. Pushes off just a little bit, gets away with it, and Booty catches it with the comeback and goes out of bounds.
Pick up a 13. Abram Booty is a true freshman. 6'2" and 185 pounds. He doesn't have the blazing speed. The proverbial possession receiver. 1st and 10 at the 38. Tyler to throw again. Wide open. Tommy Banks. Banks brought down at about the 43-yard line by Lee Wesley, and another first down, a pickup of 18 this time.
Misdirection on the old counter boot. As a result of the pursuit, look at all the blue shirts going into one direction. Fooled completely. Banks out on the flat. Shows some pretty good running ability for a guy that doesn't get the opportunity. Breaks the tackle and gets forward. LSU coming out of the playbook, a play that they had not called earlier in this particular half. Fools the Wildcats completely.
Banks used primarily for his girth and his blocking ability. With a pickup of 18. And here's Tyler on a screen pass. Kevin Falk. Falk down the sideline and finally run out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Another first down. A pickup of 18 on the play.
This is a great play by Herb Tyler in setting this up. He takes his time, lets the people get right on top of him. He looks downfield. Now right here, he waits and he waits and he waits. And instead of lofting the ball, this time he's able to drill it. And Falk, despite the bad footing, is able to get down on one hand, get upfield, get behind his blockers, and get a big gain.
For LSU.
Lee Wesley had a chance to bring him down, and Falk just blew right past him.
Great block on the play once again by their All-American Faneca.
1st and 10 from the 25, and here's Tyler rolling, and he breaks a tackle. And he's going to get out of bounds at about the 21-yard line.
Got to be fresh.
Lee Wesley missed him again.
Anthony Watson appeared to have him for the sack, but Tyler is able to get out of it, and that's what he does so well. Besides being able to throw the ball, he's able to run. Watch the rollout. Has him, but no. Goes down on the one hand, escapes it, comes upfield 2nd and sticks instead of having it 2nd and 15 or 16.
Tyler on the night is 10 of 12 passing for 146. 4 carries for 45 yards. 2nd down and 6 yards to go. And Kevin Falk is going to score a touchdown. Untouched by human hand.
Charlie, this is the play that Rondell Mealy went for. Again, the delayed draw right up the middle. And Kentucky was nowhere to be found. You know, so many times you say untouched, and it's not true. In this case, it was. Nobody laid a hand on it.
And so for Kevin Falk, his 6th touchdown of the season. And LSU regains the lead 18-14. Kevin Falk showing no ill effects of that pulled hamstring that he suffered in the first game of the season. And he was sidelined for 3 weeks. As Cecil the Diesel Collins came in and certainly did a terrific job in filling in for him. And now here is LSU going for 2 into the end zone. That's caught. That's a 2-point conversion. Abram Booty, who's getting a lot of attention tonight.
What ends up happening here with LSU is that look at the wide receivers. They spread out with 3 people outside, and so there's nobody right down the middle. They're able to take away their 8 in the box, and as a result, with only having 6 in the box, take a look right down the middle. Here comes Falk. The blocks are there. There's nobody there. Free safety's gone because he's gone to the 2 wide receiver side. Falk able to come in completely untouched. Now in the 2-point conversion, Herb Tyler has the 2 wide receivers. Or here's once again the touchdown by Falk. As we mentioned, completely untouched. The offensive line for LSU doing an outstanding job. Now in the 2-point conversion, the wide receivers, both of them to the left side of your screen. Booty on the corner makes the adjustment, gets the right foot down. And of course, as you well know in college football, you only need the 1 foot to have it good. And now 20 points for LSU.
LSU on the drive, 79 yards in just 6 plays. Falk with the 21-yard touchdown run, and Tyler was 3 for 3 and 50 yards through the air.
I think very impressive too for LSU on that particular drive is that all the momentum had come back to Kentucky. They're up 14-12. Everybody's screaming. The fans are back in the game, and give them a lot of credit. But arguably the biggest play of that drive, Charlie, was the defensive holding that set them up. Otherwise, they come up 3rd and 17.
And so now the Tigers lead it by 6. 4.5 minutes to go in the first half. Squibber. That's going to go out of bounds.
Maybe this is a personal point with me. I just have never understood in certain situations the squib kick, because if for whatever reason the guy catches the ball at the goal line, runs it out to the 35, isn't that a fabulous return?
That's exactly
isn't everybody
right.
cheering, and don't they think that's great? But instead now both sides of the ball, for whatever reason, don't want to kick to the deep people, but they still set them up an excellent field position.
At the 35-yard line, and that is Abram Booty, who scored the 2-point conversion to extend the LSU lead to 6. A true freshman. Showing some true grit tonight. So Kentucky says thank you very much for kicking it out of bounds. We'll take the ball at the 35-yard line, and we'll employ trips up to the right side. And just a single receiver, Chad Yeast, at the bottom of the screen. In the backfield is Derek Homer, and here's Couch from the shotgun. Throwing for Yeast. And he can't hold on at the 40-yard line. Defensed on the play by Chris Cummings.
A good defense on the part of Cummings. We've been praising Couch up to this point, but this ball is just a little bit underthrown. Yeast with the good move. Gets off. He's open now. He's got to throw it over the left shoulder. Instead, it's just a little bit short. Cummings was in good protection, or good coverage, rather. And despite the boos, good non-call by the officials.
He caught a handful of Cummings' helmet. 2nd down and 10. At the 35-yard line, once again, trips to the right. Just a single receiver at the bottom of the screen.
That's what they want to do. They want to isolate Yeast, man for man.
Here's the pass over the middle, and it's complete. Coleman gets out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Now here's Mike Adamle.
Well, Charlie, since you're a boxing maven, you might enjoy this highlight. Donovan McNabb, 17 yards after a fine scramble against West Virginia. He finds his tight end, Kasim Cincino, in the end zone for the touchdown. The boxing connection, Cincino, the nephew of boxing champion Riddick Bowe.
That's exactly right.
What's a maven? You're a maven. Cool.
I had a stinger once, too. 3rd down and 2. And here is Couch from the shotgun. Couch to throw, and it's complete. Where will they put the line of scrimmage? Across the 45-yard line, and that's going to be a 1st down. The completion to Kevin Coleman.
Boy, I don't know. Boy, there have been some really generous spots tonight, Charlie. The coverage was outstanding. Coleman with the delay route again. You can see him delaying, now come across the field. Boy, well, maybe so. Maybe he did catch it across the 45.
Joe Wesley was right there, but not before the 1st down for Kentucky. At their own 46-yard line now. Handoff, Anthony White. And White still on his feet, has some room down the sideline, and is run out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Another 1st down for Kentucky.
Kind of tough for those defensive linemen when you're always in pass rush mode to suddenly get back on your heels and play the run. That's the advantage when you have the quarterback doing what he's doing. And, of course, pretty good run by White as he breaks the tackle, gets out of bounds just inside the 40.
As we mentioned, Kentucky has a grand total of 14 plays in the playbook. 4 running plays and 10 passing plays. But they get their money's worth. 1st and 10 at the 37. Trips to the right side, including Kevin Coleman. And Yeast is up there also. Here's Couch firing. Is it intercepted? Yes, it is, by Chris Beard. His 2nd of the season.
Chris Beard.
To say the Couch made a bad decision is an understatement. He decides right there, he's got one guy in mind. Boy, I tell you what, that is a great catch by Beard, who cuts in front with the hands, gets his hands underneath, and makes the snag.
That is the first turnover of the game, and for Tim Couch, his 14th interception of the season. And considering the inclement weather, although the rain has now stopped, but the field is indeed very slick, surprisingly, just 1 turnover tonight. That's Larry Foster. Flanked way to the top of the screen. Ephraim Booty at the bottom. Here's Tyler to throw. Pump fake, throwing, and it's complete at the 42-yard line to Larry Foster. And that's a first down and a big pickup of 23 yards.
The point that you saw by Foster is watch. It's supposed to go up top, and then Tyler, look at that. He double clutches at the last minute, throws behind. Great adjustment by Foster coming back to the ball, letting Tyler read it. Now watch what happens. He's supposed to go deep. Look at that. It's a fake, but he's got it fooled out. He says, no, wait. I'll slow down and come back. That's a great job of having, I don't know if it's ESP or whatever it is between the two of them, to make the adjustment, throw the ball underneath, and allow Foster to make the completion.
That would be ESPN, and it's first down and 10 at the 43-yard line. And here's Tyler in trouble, rolling, throwing, sideline, and completing it at the 31-yard line. Once again to Larry Foster on the near side. A pickup of 12, and that's a first down.
So maddening for a defense when you have a quarterback that's as mobile as Tyler is. You can see Foster wide open, makes the catch and gets the first down, but Tyler's the one that made the play, breaking the contain of Ali and creating the opening to where the defensive back has to make a decision. Do I come up and make the tackle, or do I stay with Foster?
You know, when Bamadelli Ali tackles Tyrone Frazier tonight, we'll have Ali and Frazier. It is first down and 10 at the 32. Falk is the back. Tyler to throw it. Long overthrows his intended receiver. Way down at the 15-yard line. Larry Foster was the intended pass catcher.
Well, Foster wasn't very happy. He thought he should have had a call. He went with the out-and-up route, and he got pulled when he fooled the corner. The free safety was still there. Nonetheless, Foster a little bit upset over the fact that he didn't get the call.
Herb Tyler really gets nailed as he gets rid of the ball.
Well, up to this point, he's had outstanding protection, but he certainly pays for it on that one.
Mark Jacobs with the big pop on second down and 10. And again, Tyler rolling. Cut. He's got some room down the sideline, and it looks like he's made a first down, and he has.
But a flag is down, Charlie. Defensive back got pushed in the back, and so this is going to come all the way back. Anxious to make a block, it appeared that Foster pushed the defender in the back. I think it was Tremaine Martin, and that's the penalty that's going to bring it all the way back.
Jerry DiNardo told us on the telephone this week, as we take a look at the official call.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Spot of the fall. Repeat. Second down.
What distressed him most about the loss to Ole Miss was his lack of concentration, the lack of concentration on his offensive unit in particular. They had no offensive penalties against Florida, and then against Ole Miss, 5. And here's another one, setting his offensive unit way back. 2nd and a mile. Here's Tyler throwing long. He's got a man, and it's incomplete. Larry Foster at the 15-yard line, overthrown.
Interesting what they're doing offensively now. LSU in the first quarter, of course, they were exclusively run. Now on this particular drive, they've been exclusively pass. The last 2 plays, they've gone with a 4 wide receiver set that I don't think Kentucky's necessarily prepared for. Certainly that case they weren't. And Tyler's not very happy over the fact that, boy, I had Foster for 6, but I didn't deliver the goods.
Foster had Tremaine Martin beaten by at least 5 yards, and that pass was overthrown by 5 yards. And so now on 3rd down and 25 yards to go, everybody in the joint is standing and screaming.
Remember last time, Charlie, when they had 3rd and very long, they went with the quarterback draw.
Not this time. Throwing long. Ephraim Booty. Incomplete.
The official's going to come with the flag here late. He couldn't get it out of his pocket. You could see it happening. Very catchable ball. I think Booty feels like he should have had it. It's going to be pass interference against Kentucky.
That's a crushing penalty, especially when you consider it was 3rd and 25.
And Eric Kelly, the man in coverage, isn't very happy about it.
Kelly is a freshman. Now Mummy doesn't like the look of it.
Well, how Mummy wants to know what's the deal here. I mean, it appeared to him that it could have been incidental contact.
Pass interference on the defense. 15-yard penalty. Previous spot. First down.
Watch at the end. Here's the bump. Now does gee, you know what? I just don't like that. I really don't. That's kind of ticky-tack. Does it prevent him from making the catch? And the answer is no. Look at Booty. He's got his arms there. He just didn't come up with it. I think you got to let that go. That's unfortunate.
Side judge Tom Zamansky who threw the flag. And so now it is 1st and 10 for LSU after the penalty. At the 31-yard line of Kentucky. And the Wildcat faithful are angry, and we've got ourselves a timeout being called by LSU. They lead by 6. Time running out on the first half.
LSU is just the community. It is.
Everyone that you could ever imagine around here loves it.
Well, the natives are restless here in Lexington on that pass interference call. So it'll be 1st and 10 for LSU at their own 31-yard line. And LSU has just 1 timeout left here in the first half. Kentucky has 2. And Hal Mummy is really steamed on that call.
Well, he has a right to be. 3rd and 25. But let's also point out the fact, Charlie, that why on 3rd and 25 was Kentucky in a man-for-man situation. Certainly should have gone to a soft, deep zone. Let him make a catch underneath and force him to punt.
So 1st and 10 at the 31. That's Foster in motion to the top of the screen. Little end around. Here's Foster. Can he turn the corner? No, he can't. Brought down behind the line of scrimmage by Tremaine Martin.
Another guy helping on the play, though, Charlie, is Mark Jacobs, defensive tackle, who's not fooled. That forces him to go completely away from what he needed to do. Now, right here, the play is not made by Martin, but he forces him to the outside along with Snedeker. Great job by the Kentucky defense here, rising to the occasion after a play that could have had them debilitated.
His 3rd tackle for a loss. The strong safety, Tremaine Martin. And Tyler goes down back at the 50 by Jeff Snedeker.
To this point, this is the very thing that Kentucky has been unable to do, and that is trap Tyler. Snedeker, with a burst of speed, is able to trip him up, and now Kentucky calls timeout. They want to stop the clock and give Couch an opportunity to get the ball and come up the field after, ostensibly, the punt by LSU will play from now.
3rd down and 28 following the sack by Snedeker. We told you earlier that Snedeker, during the week, walks around with his arm in a sling. And at the end of the season, that left rotator cuff will be surgically repaired.
That's the difference between being a linebacker and a left-handed pitcher.
That is the special sling that he wears to keep his shoulder in place.
What's amazing about that is you're saying to yourself, well, he doesn't throw and he doesn't catch, so no big deal. Well, wait a minute. You know, this is a guy that most of the concussions he takes are going to be in the shoulder area. So Snedeker's shown a lot of courage sticking it out in this game with an injury of that magnitude, plus the fact that it's not just that he's playing extremely well.
And he's not a big guy, 6'2" and 215. He leads Kentucky with 71 tackles. He now has 2 sacks. And it is 3rd down and 28 yards to go.
Well, they're going to run the ball here, I would think. There it is.
Inside the 40-yard line, Kevin Falk is well short of the 1st down.
And Kentucky uses their timeout. The reason I mention that is because that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to force Kentucky to use the timeout.
And now let's go back to Mike Adamle. Mike.
Okay, Charlie, coming up on the National Car Rental Halftime Report, from Lexington to where you are and Auburn, a wild day in the SEC. We'll have scores and highlights. The nation's unbeaten teams continue to roll, although Peyton Manning's Heisman candidacy takes a minor hit against a very tough South Carolina team. That and more coming up at halftime. Guys?
What a day in the SEC.
Amazing. Well, it's not over yet.
Oh, we have some more surprises here. It's 4th down and 17. LSU is at the Kentucky 38-yard line. Jeremy Witten, who is the pooch kicker for LSU, and Craig Yeast is standing back at his own 10-yard line. Kentucky now has no timeouts left. Going for the sideline. It's not a very good kick at all. It's out of bounds. At about, they'll mark it at the 25-yard line.
Ouch. That's a 7-yard punt.
Continues its coverage next Saturday at 12:30 Eastern when the dynamic duo of Tavian Banks and Tim Dwight lead the number 16 Hawkeyes into a Big Ten battle with the Great Dane and the Badgers. And at 7:30, the national championship hopes are on the line as the Seminoles and the Tar Heels have at it next Saturday on ESPN. And now Kentucky plumb out of timeout. 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Couch from the shotgun. Anthony White is alongside in the backfield, and that is Anthony White with the handoff. White right up the gut. White to the 39-yard line. More than enough for a 1st down. Kenny Mixon made the tackle along with Rayon Hill.
Al Mummy very cognizant of the fact that the clock does stop when you get the 1st down, and that enables him to run the ball. He knows that even without the timeouts, a minute 25 on the clock running, the Couch can get him down in at least field goal position.
At the 39, trips to the right side, including Yeast and Coleman. And again, a handoff. This time to Anthony White, and he doesn't get much at all, maybe 3 yards on the play. Anthony McFarland made the tackle.
Well, as the LSU defense, to use the axiom, first it happens to me once, shame on you, second time shame on me. LSU was prepared for it that time. I was surprised they made that call.
Clock continues to run. 2nd down and 7. Here's Couch looking, firing over the middle, in and out of the hands of Merritt Crow. Catchable ball at the 45-yard line of LSU.
Charlie, certainly this is where they miss Mickelson. This is where Mickelson shines in the situation of being the receiver who is the possession guy. That ball was right on the money. Should have been caught by Crow.
Get the sense he may have heard the footsteps of Clarence LeBlanc. So on 3rd down and 7. 44 seconds left in the half. LSU still has 1 timeout left. Couch firing over the middle, and it's complete. A 1st down to Jimmy Robinson at the 45-yard line of LSU. A pickup of 13.
One of the things that's happening for LSU that they might want to change, they keep coming with 4 people and covering with 7 in kind of a soft zone. It's giving Couch all sorts of time to survey the field. They might want to take a chance here and come with a blitz.
With 38 seconds left, Couch throwing sideline, and it's complete. Out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Anthony White with the reception.
The reason I mention this is that a quarterback of this caliber, you can't get into rhythm and just let him continue to do all the things that he wants to. Once again, LSU rushes with 4. Gets the ball out to White in the flat, and wisely he gets out of bounds.
Second down and about a yard to go. They have to get to the 35-yard line, and the line of scrimmage is just inside the 37. The long one. Here's Couch. Sideline. Complete. First down at the 32-yard line. Once again, Anthony White coming out of the backfield with the reception. White coming into the game was the 3rd leading receiver for Kentucky. And after tonight, he may now be 2nd on that team. 6 catches tonight for 34 yards. Anthony White, 48 receptions on the season. 27 seconds left. And here's Couch. Out of time. Over the middle. It's complete. White is going to score. Seconds left in the half. 32 yards. Anthony White, his 6th touchdown of the season, his 4th through the air. And Kentucky has tied it. And Seth Hansen for the extra point. 20 out of 21. 21 out of 22. And the Wildcats lead.
What a weapon it is to have a running back that can come out of the backfield and catch the ball like White can. As you mentioned, Charlie, that was his 49th catch of the season. Watch number 32 to the left of your screen is going to come out. Wiley, he has a man-for-man in the circle route. You can see he's just able to get past him. He cannot run with him. That was number 48, Joe Wesley, who just couldn't stay with him. They have the 2-deep zone, but there's Wesley, fooled on the play. White comes in the middle and shows his burst of speed, and he's in for the score.
White caught the last 3 passes for 45 yards.
Well, Couch's ability to see the field is phenomenal, Charlie. He was looking to his wide receivers, comes back to the middle with the flick of the wrist, puts the ball right on the shoulder of White. That was a nice touch.
Told you about Tim Couch and how he has broken a school or SEC record every week of the season. Broke another one. He has broken the NCAA record for most touchdown passes by a sophomore. Now he has 33. Broke the record held by Jimmy Klingler in Houston in '92 and tied Detmer back in '89 at BYU. You are seeing someone special. 74 yards in 1 minute and 15 seconds and no timeouts.
Well, again, not trying to flog a dead horse, but LSU really didn't change up much defensively on that particular drive, and Couch was able to take advantage of it.
Line drive kick. Fielded, not cleanly by Falk, and Falk slips and falls at the 26-yard line. 12 seconds left in the first half, and Kentucky, the underdog by 6 coming into this home game, now leading by 1.
Well, what's impressive about this, you can see that Couch's numbers are going to be tremendous, but give some credit to his receivers who have made some spectacular moves after making the catches. You can see that 115 yards in just 1 half.
Anthony White with 49 catches on the season. The leading receiver for LSU, Larry Foster, has 29. 21-20, Kentucky. At the half, we've got ourselves a ball game in Lexington. Now, Mike Adamle.
All right, thank you, Charlie. Out in the Pac-10, another hot quarterback, UCLA's car rental halftime report. 3 touchdown passes. Can he keep it up? We'll find out in a moment.
Hello, fellow homeowners. Hey, I bet you'd like to know.
If you are just joining us, you've gotten here just in the nick of time. Charlie Steiner along with Todd Christensen and Chris Marlowe. We have had a whale of a first half. LSU and Kentucky. LSU had 23 running plays. Kentucky had 23 passing plays. And when all was said and done, an 18-second disparity in time of possession.
Well, it really was a tale of two quarters. In the first quarter for LSU, they rushed for 150 yards.
You'd like to know.
If you are just joining us, you've gotten here just in the nick of time. Charlie Steiner along with Todd Christensen and Chris Marlowe. We have had a whale of a first half. LSU and Kentucky. LSU had 23 running plays. Kentucky had 23 passing plays. And when all was said and done, an 18-second disparity in time of possession.
Well, it really was a tale of two quarters. In the first quarter for LSU, they rushed for 150 yards. In the second quarter, 15. You see the difference there in total yards. Kentucky in the second quarter was just completely dominant. 3 scoring drives for Kentucky of 74, 79, and 74 yards. Just a masterful job by Tim Couch.
Kentucky tonight.
Boy, oh boy.
And a kick out of bounds. 3 out of 4 Kentucky plays were pass plays in the first half.
Well, coming into this game, they had been about 65-35, and according to Coach Hal Mumme, he said he wanted it to be 60-40. But I think as long as number 2 is the quarterback, I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to throw as often as he likes.
Hal Mumme in his first year at Kentucky, and he loves that wide open passing game. And when you have a quarterback like Tim Couch, why not? After 5 years at Division II Valdosta, and Tim Couch just having an extraordinary season. It's 1st and 10 for Kentucky. First play, second half, at their own 35-yard line. And Couch to throw. Long over the middle, and it's caught by Yeast at the 34-yard line of LSU. He beat Chad Cummings, a pickup of 31 yards on the play.
Cummings' coverage was not that bad, but again, Charlie, the issue here is that Kentucky continues to protect Couch extremely well. Look at Cummings. He had the arm in there and everything. But Yeast with the short post route is able to get open, and Couch puts it right on the money. Boy, that's just a tremendous throw.
You're watching something special tonight. Tim Couch. Handoff. Homer turns the corner and is run out of bounds at the 28-yard line by Chris Beard. A pickup of about 7 on the play.
Homer showed some great speed getting to the outside. It appeared that Rayon Hill had him contained, but watch the burst right here. Hill can't quite get to him, and a little bit of a stiff arm. Cuts up, gets inside the 30.
5 carries, 25 yards for Derek Homer, the freshman from Fort Knox, and he has come up golden.
Homer coming into the game, Trout, have been averaging 5.3 a carry. That's not too bad.
Couch firing sideline, incomplete, intended for A.J. Simon. Now here's Chris Marlowe.
Talked to both coaches at halftime. Hal Mumme was proud of his defense. He wasn't sure of any adjustments he was going to make. I asked him if he was optimistic in the second half, or would be optimistic in the second half, and he said, "What do you think?" Jerry DiNardo, meanwhile, was concerned with his defensive backs. Troy Twilley is still out. It's doubtful he's going to get back. They're having troubles with coverage. Backfield.
3rd down. 4 yards to go. The line of scrimmage is the 28. They have to get just inside the 25. And Couch from the shotgun. Looking out of the backfield. It's complete. Homer's got it, and he's not going to make the first down. He'll fall about 2 yards short.
I think this is 4-down territory, Charlie, and the reason I say that is that a 45-yard field goal in these conditions is not a likely happening. I think Kentucky's definitely going to go for it here.
And on 4th down tonight, they're only 3 for 3. And they're going to go for it again. Trips to the left side. Homer in the backfield with Couch in the shotgun. Couch with a pump fake, firing over the middle, and it's complete to Chad Yeast. He's got the first down to the 17-yard line. A pickup of 10. 4 for 4 on fourth down conversion.
And for all the world, it looked like he was going to go to Whalen on the out and up. Look at Whalen right there. He cuts upfield, pumps to him, and then he goes right underneath to Yeast. Wide open underneath. Once again, kind of a soft zone by LSU. Take a look at Yeast, just falls underneath, wide open, sits in the middle and waits. Couch puts it right on the money.
Yeast giving LSU an infection. It's 1st and 10 at the 17. Handoff, fumble. Ball is loose. It is picked up by Kentucky. Correction, LeBlanc to the 42, picked up by LSU and a first down.
And I know this is going to sound strange, but this really is a big play by Couch because he's completely away from it. Here's a situation to where they come with a blitz. They're able to make the tackle. They're able... Here comes the fumble. Now watch. Couch is completely away from the play, and LeBlanc has some people with him. You would think he'd go the distance, but Smith can't make the block, and Couch fights through people to drop LeBlanc with a great play. Otherwise, that's 6 for LSU going the other direction.
Is there anything Couch can't do? With a touchdown-saving tackle following the fumble.
LSU finally comes with a blitz. They shake themselves out of the 4-man front. They come with the blitz, and as a result, the ball is stripped. Excellent play on the part of number 48, their leading tackler, Joe Wesley, to strip the ball.
Now let's see if LSU can capitalize on the miscue. It's Kevin Falk. He's got a first down and then some to the 26-yard line and a first down. A pickup of 16.
This is the way LSU started the first half, running the ball effectively.
He tries to get back, but he can't. He just got thrown up out in front of him for clearance, okay?
Al Mummy talking to his prodigy, Tim Couch. Let's see how costly that turnover is going to be because Kentucky was on the move. They had the momentum, and now here comes LSU, and they've got the ball 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line. Tyler on the option, and there's a flag on the play. Marvin Major made the tackle. We'll see what the flag is all about.
I'm surprised it took LSU this long to get to the option.
Offside on the defense. Lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Charlie, you mentioned how will the defense respond to the big run of Falk and the turnover. Remember, near the end of the first half, when it appeared to have such a crushing blow, that long interference penalty, they were able to bounce back and stuff LSU. So, see if they can do the same here.
And whistles are blowing. And we're going to play it. 1st and 5 at the 21. Falk. Oh, he's belted down at the 20-yard line by Bob Holmberg. He has been ever present tonight. Holmberg and Snedeker, the two of them, have played very, very well.
Well, this is a big-time collision. Falk wanted to go outside, but the cornerback forced him back inside, and you're absolutely right. Coming up the field, about 4 different blue shirts stuff him.
Holmberg, a senior from Louisville. 2nd down and 4 at the Kentucky 20. And flags are flying again.
Now, it appears that LSU is going to lose back that 5 yards that they gain on the offsides because they're in motion.
Ball before the snap. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Hey, Charlie, this is the thing that you had mentioned earlier with regards, you see the reaction of Coach DiNardo. This is what's frustrating him. They put together a great drive, a couple of great drives. They look like they're doing things, throwing, and then all of a sudden there's a motion penalty. There's a holding. There's something that just continues to stymie them. That's the inconsistency that's plagued them over the last couple of weeks.
5 offensive penalties costing them first downs against Ole Miss in that upset, and more penalties tonight. Tyler is brought down at the 25-yard line by Bamadeli Ali. And now on 3rd down situations, we throw downstairs to Chris Marlowe.
Well, it's kind of interesting, Charlie. LSU doing most of its damage on first and second down. They haven't had many third downs. 2 of 5, 40%. They've not had one 3 yards and below. 4 to 7, 1 of 2, 8 yards or more. That's been their problem area, converting on third and long. Let's see if they can do it here.
It is third down and 8. And Tyler is in the shotgun. Tyler looking left, throwing over the middle, and it's complete. Abram Booty's got it inside the 15-yard line, and that's a first down.
And what a great throw by Tyler as he had Snedeker right under his chin as he delivers the ball.
Ball spotted at the 38-yard line.
Take a look at Snedeker right there. He's going to be right underneath just as he throws the ball. Ouch, hits him right in the shoulder. That's a nice catch by Booty, but Tyler makes the play here. Wow. Able to get that ball off with some juice. Booty with the crossing route comes underneath. Lunges out, makes sure of the catch.
Booty has been Tyler's favorite wideout tonight. First and 10. Here's Falk. And Falk picks up, maybe 5 on the play. Brought down by Lee Wesley. Second down and 5, and the line of scrimmage is a 10-yard line.
That delayed draw has been the most effective running play for LSU up to this point. In fact, that 5-yard gain is probably the shortest they've had. Both Mealy and Falk have had touchdowns on that play.
Call it second down and 7. Ball is just outside the 10. Falk run out of bounds at the 6 by Willie Gary, number 27.
Gotta give Kentucky credit. I really thought that they would struggle with the option, but they're playing it very well. Gary is able to cut up and get Falk after the play had been strung out by his compatriot, number 26, Tremaine Martin.
Gary, a freshman from Valdosta, Georgia. He is a leading tackler in the secondary. It is third down and about 3. This is the first third and short situation of the night. And that's going to be it. Kevin Falk was just sealed off at the 1-yard line.
Number 3.
Looked like Falk was going to get in.
Offensive line for LSU very assertive here. Take a look. They go with the strong eye with 3 in the backfield, and both fullbacks are able to lead up and create a gap for Falk as he cuts inside down to the 1-yard line.
Tremaine Martin and Marvin Major in on the tackles. First and goal inside the 1. Falk and Cleveland in the I formation. It's like a quarterback sneak that is not going anywhere, but there is a flag on the play at the goal line.
Offside on the defense. Half the distance. Repeat first down.
Well, there's not much distance to go to get halfway.
Gets stuffed right there. There he sticks the ball over, but it goes for naught since there's a penalty.
First and less than 1. Banks, Cleveland, and Falk in the triple I. And there's motion, and I think this one's going to go against LSU.
Tight end Fernell Hankton on the left side moved a little bit too soon. And that one's costly for LSU because that really is the 5 yards.
Hankton, normally the starting tight end, but he has a broken left hand. And so he has not been able to catch any passes. Well, let's see what the call is.
Ball before the snap. Ball start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, Hankton is a left tight end. He's going to be on the right side of your screen. You can see he just takes off a little bit too early. There's the hut, and there he is, just a little bit too soon.
Fernell Hankton, he is a senior from New Orleans, 6'5" and 260. And so now the triple I, first and goal from the 6. Tyler going to run it and score it.
Number 14, Herb Tyler, the ball carrier.
Herb Tyler's 6th rushing touchdown of the season.
Very surprising here that they're able to do that. And of course, here they're scoring as a result of the turnover. They go with the triple I from the 5-yard line. I would have thought that they would have gone to something else, but give Tyler credit. He goes with the play action. Kentucky backs into the end zone to cover the receivers, and being the mobile quarterback that he is, he strides in for the score.
And with the 5-point lead, LSU is going for 2. It's 26-21. They score the 2. They get back to a more conventional 7-point lead. Falk is a single setback for the 2-point conversion. Tyler does it all himself. Herb Tyler scores the 6-yard touchdown and then the 2-point conversion.
Well, Tyler has been the man throughout this particular drive, throwing the ball, running the ball, making all the right decisions. He is certainly the Mac Daddy for the Tigers.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by Honda, vehicles designed to help simplify your life, and by CK1, a fragrance for a man or a woman. Calvin Klein.
Herb Tyler with the 6-yard touchdown run and then the 2-point conversion, capping off an 8-play 42-yard drive following a fumble by Kentucky, and they were on the move until Homer lost possession of the ball. That is going to be a touchback, and Kentucky will take over 1st and 10 at their own 20. ESPN's college football coverage continues Thursday night at 7:30 Eastern with the weekend kickoff show presented by Coors Light. After that, the Razorbacks and the Rebels in the SEC at 8 Eastern this Thursday night.
Stuart Partridge and Cliff Sterner, a couple of quarterbacks a lot of people don't know about. They're starting to play pretty well. Remember, Partridge is the one that threw for over 340 yards against this very LSU team to help them to the upset.
And Sterner had a terrific game last week in the game we did down in Arkansas.
Sure did. First career 300-yard game.
Here's Couch to throw. Couch is in trouble, spins out of the way. He's going to toss it. Incomplete. Intended for Anthony White.
You know what, though? The athletic ability of Couch certainly shone through there. The 360 spin, take a look. Gatlin's got him right in his sights, but he makes the 360 spin, gets out of it, running left, does kind of a Brett Favre thing and throws across his body. And if White hadn't been so anxious, he could have come up with it, but he wanted to run before he had the catch. Well,
second down. And 10 yards to go. 4 wideouts, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. And Couch from the shotgun. His club trailing by 7. Firing and completing to James Whalen. Couldn't hold on. And it's going to be a fumble, and LSU's going to take over inside the 10-yard line. Joe Wesley with the recovery.
And the crowd wants an incomplete pass, but from our vantage point, it certainly looked like it was caught. Take a look from behind Couch. Here's the ball. Delivers it. Are his feet down? Certainly are. Once again, a punishing hit by LeBlanc, who's been doing that all night long. Wesley picks up the ball, and another costly turnover for the Wildcats.
LeBlanc, the hardest hitter in the LSU secondary. Whalen couldn't hold on. And Joe Wesley picked up the fumble, and now LSU with a chance to blow it open. Kevin Falk, touchdown! 2 turnovers have just turned into 13 points, and a Kentucky 1-point lead at the half has turned into an LSU 13-point lead with 8:36 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Well, obviously Kentucky on their heels after that. Falk gets the straight handoff, cuts to the outside, makes a nice move, just runs right over the top of Willie Gary in for the touchdown.
And so now the extra point is good. And suddenly, on 2 turnovers, LSU leads by 14.
there is an end in life.
The Knowles and the Heels take center stage in the biggest ACC game of the year. Florida State, North Carolina, next Saturday night at 7:30, only on ESPN.
What could be a controversial turning point in this game, Tom.
Well, certainly the fans don't agree. Take a look at Whalen in the catch. Left, watch the left foot, right foot. In my opinion, he had possession. I thought it was a good call by the officials, but certainly the fans here don't agree. They thought it was an incompletion.
And so now, Kevin Falk with the touchdown, and LSU with the 14-point lead. Danny Boyd with the kickoff fielded by Yeast in the end zone, and he's going to put one knee to the turf. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line for Kentucky. And now they've got their work cut out for them, trailing by 14.
LSU was offsides on the play. Be interesting to see if they want him to kick over or not. They might want to get a little bit better field position than just the 20.
LSU with 2 touchdowns in just 32 seconds. And now will Kentucky have them do over? Looks like they will.
On the kicking team, 5-yard penalty, free kick.
Danny Boyd has a lead foot, doesn't he? He can really boom those kickoffs.
Yeah, when he keeps them in bounds, yeah. Now the issue here is what kind of a return does Kentucky want to set up? They certainly want to get an opportunity with Yeast with the ball in the open field.
And so he'll kick it off from his own 30-yard line. That is Craig Yeast. Along with Derek Homer. Yeast has averaged 18.7 yards on a return this year. And this one goes out of bounds. So it was wise to take the penalty, and they'll take over. Kentucky will 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. Monday at 7:30 Eastern, immediately following SportsCenter. It's NFL Prime Monday with all the highlights, analysis, and soundtracks. And then at 9 Eastern on ABC, it's Monday Night Football. Cordell Stewart, slash no more, leads the Steelers into Arrowhead Stadium to face the Kansas City Chiefs this Monday night at 9 Eastern on ABC.
Because of the 5-yard penalty, Charlie, it's the 40-yard line instead of the 35. Great opportunity here for Kentucky to get their momentum back and score relatively quickly as opposed to having to drive 80 yards, which is basically what they've been doing to get their 3 scores.
So from the 40, and with this offense, 14 points is hardly insurmountable. The handoff is to Anthony White. He picks up 5. And now Mike Adamle.
Charlie and Todd, by the time tonight's over, the Big East standings could be as topsy-turvy as the SEC's. Donovan McNabb, 15-yard. Great catch by Quentin Spotwood. If Syracuse wins, West Virginia's no longer in the hunt, and Virginia Tech has the edge for that Alliance Bowl berth, guys.
And we'll be visiting with Virginia Tech next Saturday as they host Miami. 2nd down and 5. Couch with 4 wideouts, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Firing over the middle. Oh, and it's intercepted by Craig Cummings at the 30-yard line. 3 possessions, 3 turnovers for Kentucky to start off the 2nd half.
Couch had plenty of time to survey the field, but Cummings was stride for stride with Yeast on the deep in route. Look at all the time he's looking right at him. You just can't get there. And give Cummings credit. He put on a burst of speed to get behind Yeast and make the catch. Great effort on the part of number 19. 3rd straight turnover for the Wildcats.
What's black and gold and purple all over? The black and
2 fumbles and a pass interception. And Kentucky's 1-point lead at the half. They now trail by 14, and LSU with a chance to blow it open. Here's Kevin Falk, and he picks up about 5 yards on the play.
Well, for whatever reason, Kentucky is certainly self-destructed right off the bat. Give the defense credit there. A strip of the ball, and he's able to come up the field. Now the second one is again a fumble caused by a big hit by the defense. And then a great interception on the part of Cummings. You know, one of the things you look at here is you say those are Kentucky mistakes, but let's give some credit to the Bayou Tiger defense. They're making the big hits, and they're making the plays here. They're the ones that are forcing the turnovers.
Halfway through the third quarter, it's 2nd down and 5, and Kevin Falk has busted one open. Falk is still on his feet. Kevin Falk has finally run out of bounds at about the 20-yard line.
And a flag went down, Charlie. I think that they hit him late, and there's really no excuse for that. He was clearly out of bounds in that 40-yard pickup.
A pickup of 40. Kentucky is becoming undone.
Well, the offensive line is dominating just off tackle. I mean, that's a cavern right there, just a giant hole. No run support from the secondary. And Falk out of bounds by a long ways, and what would compel number 26, Tremaine Martin, to do that, I don't understand. But you take a look at the all-time leaders in the SEC yards rushing per game. You can see Kevin Falk as number 4. Gee, you know, the 3 guys, I haven't heard any of those guys ahead of him. Have you?
They could play a little.
Yeah, I'll say. Herschel Walker, Emmitt Smith, Bo Jackson, 2 Heisman Trophy winners, and a future Hall of Famer in the NFL. Not bad.
And look at the night he's having tonight. I guess the hamstring's okay. This is Rondell Mealy inside the 10 to about the 7. Gordon Crow, 95, made the tackle.
It's funny to think about, you know, Kevin Falk obviously having the big night, as you pointed out. But if Cecil Collins is healthy, he's not playing. That's the quality of depth that they have at tailback. That's amazing.
And there was so much talk at the beginning of the season whether or not this would be Falk's last year at LSU. And to whether or not he would seek his fame and fortune in the NFL. 2nd down and 6 at the Kentucky 8. Flag on the play. And a loss on the play as Rondell Mealy is met at the line of scrimmage. But it raises some very interesting questions about what Falk's thinking is going to be coming off the hamstring, knowing that Cecil Collins will be back next year. Does he want to share the time, or does he want to make the big bucks while he can?
Well, I think that there's a decision that probably if he finishes strong, and certainly this game, if this game is any indication, as you hear the offsides called by the official, if this game is any indication, I would think that he would opt to go out. Because then if he comes back in somewhat of a limited role, that could hurt him financially.
And it looks like that hamstring is just fine, thank you. Pull it in the opening week. And now Falk is in the I formation. And here's Kevin Falk. Touchdown LSU.
Number 3, Kevin Falk, the LSU ball carrier, goes 4 yards into the end.
Boy, did this happen in a hurry.
It really did. I mean, it really, really did. And again, when a guy goes in that easily, you can tell that the offensive line is dominating. Take a look at the surge and watch Falk. Nothing fancy. He leans forward. Look at that. He comes in standing up into the end zone.
And a terrific block thrown by the fullback, Tommy Banks, number 43. For Falk, his 3rd touchdown of the game and his 8th of the season. The extra point is good, and suddenly LSU has doubled up on Kentucky.
Well, Charlie, this is certainly a time to give credit to Al Jackson, Adam Perry, Todd McClure, Alan Fanecka, and Trey Langley. They have done a great job.
LSU following 3 Kentucky turnovers, 3 touchdowns. And here is Kevin Falk, and what a night he has had. The first of 3 touchdowns, and the second.
Here comes the 40-yard. Here's the 40-yard gallop. And I think one of the things that's interesting about these highlights, Charlie, is it shows the versatility of Falk. He's not just a scat back. He's not just a guy that goes outside. He can lower his shoulder and run over some people. But once again, he's been doing it with the help of his friends up front, who have done a tremendous job.
21 points in 3 minutes and 12 seconds, thanks to 3 Kentucky turnovers. Kevin Falk.
Well, coming into the game, LSU was 5th in the nation in rushing offense, so this shouldn't be that big of a surprise. But at the same time, the dominance with which the offensive line has asserted itself here early in the 3rd quarter, I think, is a bit of a surprise, because Kentucky had held LSU to a mere 15 yards in the 2nd quarter.
LSU, coming into the game, led the SEC, was 5th in the country, averaging 260 yards of rushing per game. he's going to return it. And he won't even reach the 20. And now Chris Marlowe.
Charlie, these days you expect colleges to have web pages. Star players have web pages. Everybody has a web page, even Hal Mummy. But what about a referee that has a web page? Yes, our head referee tonight, Rom Gilbert, has his own site. And if you're a hardcore football fan, there are 50 different topics. You can brush up on the rules. There are quizzes and interpretations, 6 or 7 unusual plays, and the explanations. Right now, the Kentucky fans want to kill the ref, and you can do that by contacting his website, www.daccess.gilbertr. The Kentucky fans are mad right now.
I can't wait to log on tonight. It's 2nd down and 7. And the line of scrimmage is the 19-yard line. Still plenty of time for this wide open offense, but Kentucky is reeling. 3 quick scores by LSU, all on turnovers by the Wildcats. LSU has already rushed for 262 yards on the night, ahead of their average. Here's the pass. It's incomplete, intended for Anthony White. And now here is our computer maven, Chris Marlowe.
One more ad on Rom Gilbert. His pet peeve is former coaches who are now announcers who don't know the rules and yet criticize the officials. You two don't count. Back to the Cagientes of the booth.
And Rom Gilbert's turn-ons are, and his turn-offs are, mean people. 3rd down and 7 at the 19-yard line. Referees with web pages. And here's Couch. He's in trouble. Passing underneath, and it's complete. And on the second effort, it's a 1st down. Jimmy Haley, the 2nd time tonight with a 1st of 2nd effort, gets the 1st down.
And he still didn't get tackled.
He's a tough kid. 6'3", 238 from Colwell.
Reminds you a little bit, if you remember about 10 years ago on Monday Night Football, I believe it was Mark Bavaro made a catch and drug about a couple of 49ers a few yards. This is reminiscent of this. Watch Haley just knocking people off. They just can't stay on him. Look at him pushing forward. He never does get to the ground. Great effort on the part of Haley.
From Lowell, Massachusetts. It is 1st and 10. And that is Anthony White. And White is near the 40-yard line. A pickup of about 3 on the play. 2nd down and 7.
Coming into this game, White was averaging over 6 yards a carry. Certainly hasn't hurt that with some of the runs that he'd had earlier. And as you pointed out, we're down to about 4 minutes here remaining in the 3rd quarter. They can certainly make up the scores, but then the onus would fall upon their defense to hold LSU, and that hasn't happened thus far here in the 2nd half.
2nd and 5. Couch throwing over the middle, and he completes it to Kevin Coleman at the 49-yard line of LSU. A pickup of 12 and a 1st down.
Coleman, of course, the one that had the crossing route for the touchdown. 3 wide receivers all coming across the field, but Coleman decides to sit down in the zone, and LSU can't find him, but Couch certainly can. This is why I'm impressed with Couch. Those guys run in the exact same spot. He's able to pick out the one guy that's open. That's great vision on the part of that youngster.
1st and 10. The clock running, and Kentucky trailing by 3 TDs and 3 extra points. Couch is now forced to roll and throw on the run. And this time Coleman is smeared. Maybe a loss of 1 on the play. Cedric Donaldson made the tackle.
LSU came with 6 in that situation. Couch breaks the contain, but all he can do is get back to the line of scrimmage with the reception.
Donaldson leads LSU with 6 interceptions. He is just 1 behind the league, or actually the NCAA league. 2nd down and 10. No gain on the play. And Couch from the shotgun. This time's going to hand it off. Anthony White. White straight up the gut. Picks up about 8 on the play to the 40. Kenny Mixon made the tackle.
almost to the 40-yard line, so I'd say we're in 4-down territory.
They've got to get inside the 39-yard line, and the ball resides just outside the 40. So it's 3rd and a long 2. Couch takes the handoff, rolling to his left, throwing off the back foot, incomplete. The intended receiver was Jimmy Haley, 37, or perhaps Craig Yeast. It is 4th down.
LSU has opted to go with more of the blitzes. You can see here's LeBlanc on the blitz, and he gets dropped to the ground by Wesley, who seems to have been all over the field tonight.
Joe Wesley is the leading tackler for LSU, and he has been busy tonight. And so on 4th down and a long 2. Kentucky is 4 for 4 on 4th down tries. They're going to run for it, and I think they're going to get it.
That was interesting. I like that. He goes with the hut, and then he steps back to the runner and says, okay, look, they didn't jump off sides. We're going to have to run it this time. Comes up, gets the snap count, and does it. I'm impressed with that.
5 for 5 on 4th down conversions tonight.
Charlie made reference to the concept of the natural, and even though, you know, everybody remembers the movie and what that was about, but he makes decisions and does things that I'm just not sure you can coach.
Here's Couch, pass incomplete, intended for Marvin Love.
Now he's a little bit upset with Marvin because of the fact that he didn't run what he thought he was supposed to, and of course Love's playing time up to this point has been limited. But now with the injury to Mickelson, he's going to get more of an opportunity.
2nd down and 10 at the LSU 37. Couch is 30 of 50 tonight. This time he's going to hand it off. Derek Homer, and Homer's got a 1st down. Inside the 30, down to about the 26-yard line. Rayon Hill made the tackle after a pickup of 12.
Drop play to Homer. Defensive backs and linebackers are back in coverage. Blake breaks the 1 tackle. Tigers have to come up to make the stick, but not before Homer gets the 1st down just outside the 25.
Clock running late in the 3rd quarter. And Tim Couch about to throw his 52nd pass of the night. And he completes it to Chad Yeast. And Yeast is out of bounds just outside the 10-yard line. A pickup of 15, 1st and 10. And it looks as if by the spot of the ball, Kentucky will be able to get another 1st down out of this drive.
Craig Yeast runs the deep out route. Tries to pivot back and see if he can get back in bounds, but he can't quite do it. Over 60 catches now in the season for Yeast.
And so it is 1st and 10 with the ball just outside the 10-yard line. Here's Couch to throw. Looking, in trouble, running, and steps out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Picked up about 2 on the play. Johnny Mitchell and Charles Smith ran him out.
Good coverage by LSU in the secondary. Couch does the only thing he can, and the crowd reacts here because they think it's a late hit. But actually there at the end, you probably could have called a late hit on the receiver. In this case, Alex Herman, who came back and bopped Wiley out of bounds.
And so it is 2nd down and 7 at the LSU 8. Tim Couch is going to ice that shoulder down when this game is over. Staying in the pocket and completed for a touchdown to Kevin Coleman. What can Tim Couch do with a football in his hand?
Well, one thing he can do is hang in the pocket. He's waiting for Coleman to break free. Waiting. He knows the guy is at his feet, but he still hangs in there tough and delivers the ball on the money.
His 4th touchdown pass of the night, his 34th of the season, and now Kentucky can get back to within 14. Tim Couch, how do you do? Well, if you haven't seen Tim Couch before, he has lived up to all the clippings and then some. 32 of 52 tonight. 4 touchdown passes. And now it is suddenly 42-28. Kentucky led by 1 at the half. But then LSU on 3 Kentucky turnovers seemed to be on the way toward a blowout. But not so fast, says Tim Couch. Mark Samuel will kick it off for Kentucky. And Kevin Falk is standing deep awaiting the kick. A 14-play, 84-yard drive. And with, it's an onside kick. And it is fielded cleanly by Rowan Davey, number 10. Now Chris Marlowe.
Well, Tim Couch was born in the mountain town of Hyden, Kentucky, population 375, and most of them are here tonight. Watch his reaction on the touchdown pass, his 4th of the night, and his mom, Janice. Check her out, nervously waiting for the receiver to haul it in. Mayor of Hyden is here, the superintendent of schools is here, the county judge, the state police, all to watch Tim Couch.
Well, when the population is 375, it's not all that difficult to get most of the town out. Tim Couch. You know, they're talking about Couch, and his high school principal says of Tim Couch, when Tim is playing, he's as dangerous as a broken fruit jar. Wow. That's dangerous. Wow. And he's been cutting that secondary of LSU to ribbons tonight. Banks and Falk in the I formation behind Tyler on 2nd and 12. Tyler's got a lot of time throwing long and overthrowing Larry Foster down at the 20-yard line, and he was double covered anyway.
You know, I was going to, if for whatever reason they can hold him here on 3rd down and force the punt, I really was surprised, Charlie. I mean, there was, at the time, about a minute and a half left in the 3rd quarter. I didn't understand the necessity for an onside kick, but now, if here at 3rd and 12 and we've documented the 3rd down conversions for LSU, if for whatever reason they can hold him here, then no harm, no foul.
Hal Mumme is a most unconventional coach, as we've seen tonight. 5 for 5 on 4th down conversion. It's 3rd down and 12 for LSU. And here's Tyler throwing. And did he complete it? Wow. Yes, he did at the 36-yard line to Larry Foster, and that's a 1st down.
Number 22, Larry Foster.
Well, it's interesting to think about coming into this game with 29 catches as to whether or not somebody is your go-to guy. But because of the running attack of LSU, that really is a lot of catches, and that's an absolutely clutch catch on the part of Foster to get a little bit of the momentum back to LSU.
And so we have come to an end of 3 quarters. 4 touchdowns in the 3rd quarter, 3 of them by LSU. Tyler and Falk. And Falk again. And then the touchdown pass from Couch to Coleman. 42-28.
Michael Jordan.
Thing you can bank on when Tim Couch is playing a football game. We're going to be here a long time. 3 hours already into the game as we begin the 4th quarter, and here's Tyler back to throw. He's got a lot of time, firing at the sideline, and that's Abram Booty, and he's got it at the 26-yard line and very close to the 1st down.
Booty runs what appears to be the up route. Now watch a little bit of a push, or more than a little bit of a push that he's going to give Littleton Ward. Gets away with it, pushes off, comes back to the ball like a good receiver does.
And Booty's a true freshman, 6'2", 176 pounds, from Shreveport, Louisiana. 1st and 10. Kevin Falk's got some room, and he rumbles inside the 20 down to about the 18-yard line. Martin and Gary, the safeties, along with Marvin Major, making the tackle.
LSU getting close to 300 yards rushing as a team, as you pointed out, coming into this game 5th in the nation. They want to take some time off the clock before Couch gets back out there to do his thing. That 3rd down catch was absolutely huge, Charlie.
Kevin Falk on the night, 23 carries and 156 yards. 2nd down. Oh, here's Falk. He's got a big opener, and Falk is going to score.
Kentucky comes with a blitz, and they blitz right past number 3. Take a look at all the blue shirts. They come blitzing in the middle, but he cuts to the outside, and there's nobody left.
Kevin Falk with 4 touchdowns tonight. He came into the game with 5. He now has 9. And LSU responds quickly with the touchdown. The extra point just hooked in. But there is a flag on the play. Well,
offside, blue, kick is good.
So Kevin Falk's hamstring is 100%. And LSU is now firing on all cylinders. It's 49-28.
How to speak Australian. How to speak Australian for beer.
It seemed like such a long time ago. At the half, Kentucky was leading LSU 21-20. And it's been all LSU in the 2nd half, and Kevin Falk with 4 touchdowns tonight. And this is Chad Yeast. And Yeast is not going to make it to the 20. Falk has 221 yards of rushing, or 221 yards of offense tonight, 178 on the ground, another 43 in the air. Now, the BMW storyline of the evening is, well, you're looking at him, Kevin Falk. And oh, what a night he has had. Came into the game with 5 touchdowns. And tonight, he adds 4 more, 9 on the season. Here's Tim Couch throwing underneath, and he completes it to White. White across the 25 to the 27-yard line. Charles Smith made the tackle. A sense of urgency now for Kentucky. Plenty of time left, but they are trailing by 21.
Gain of 9, 2nd and 1 at the 28.
Couch calling plays on the fly. 2nd and less than 1. Trips to the right side at the bottom of your screen. East is number 3, Coleman 19. Here's Couch to throw. Now he's going to have to run it, and he's going to get out of bounds, and he'll have himself a 1st down at about the 31-yard line. Chris Cummings ran him out of bounds. Stops the clock.
I remember last year when I had a Kentucky-Louisville game, they listed him at about 230, and now they list him at 216. He was a little bit heavier last year. He certainly looks more mobile than he did in 96, and he's needed that tonight because he's had to scramble out quite a few times.
Well, he can stay in the pocket. He can run. He can throw on the run. He can throw off his back foot. Got a cannon for an arm. Sees the field. There's not much he can't do. He fires down the sideline. It's incomplete. Intended for Yeast at the 40.
Pass intended for number 3, Craig Yeast. Incomplete. 2nd and 10.
Already up to, what is it, 54, 55 attempts? He's
54.
He's no doubt going to break his own record for attempts, which I believe is 61 coming into this game.
The NCAA record for most attempts in a game is 79. Oh, man. We have a way to go yet, and it's not out of the realm of possibility. Here's Couch firing near side, and he completes it to Merritt Crow.
Crow had dropped a couple of balls earlier, and that's got to make him feel a little bit better, but that's a nice catch. He slid, and the ball was behind him, able to body that one. Good catch by Crow.
FYI, the record 79 attempts, Matt Vogler of TCU against Houston in 1990. He was 44 of 79 that night in a game that probably ended about 2 weeks ago. on 3rd and 4. That's going to be a first down for Derek Homer. Now the BMW storyline of the night. 2 big stars. Kevin Falk and his 178 yards on the ground and 4 touchdowns. And Tim Couch so far 34 of 55 for 326 yards.
Sure is fun when the things that you highlighted early on happen. You talked about the teams did things differently. One did it by the run, one did it by the pass, and that's exactly what's come to fruition.
And here's Couch on first down, passing, and East is able to hold on.
Couch's pass complete to number 9.
Oh, correction, that was Jimmy Robinson, number 9. And, well, they're going to have a measurement.
2nd and 1.
2nd and less than 1. He fell down right by the yard marker and just about a half a yard short.
6.
Meanwhile, the clock runs with 12 minutes to go. And change. And here is Couch from the shotgun on 2nd and less than 1. He's in trouble. Oh, he's sacked all the way back at the 30-yard line. Let's go now to Mike Adamle.
All right, Charlie and Todd at the Carrier Dome. Syracuse bashing West Virginia's Big East title host with a little razzle-dazzle on the flanker reverse. Watch KJ Kevin Johnson. Perfect spiral to Jim Turner. He catches it at the 11 and takes it in. The Orangemen now lead 19-10. Still in the 3rd quarter, guys.
3rd down and 12 yards to go. So instead of 2nd and less than 1, it's now 3rd and 12. And that's where sometimes the unconventional can go back and bite you pretty good. They're doing it the hard way. 3rd and 12, passing out of the backfield, incomplete, intended for Anthony White. The pass is a bit high. And it looks like on that sack, Tim Couch has been holding his ear and his jaw ever since.
Yeah, he looks like he's a little bit shook up. I'm surprised here that on 4th and 12, but again, you've been saying it all night, unconventional. You know, it's like we're down 21. What do we have to lose? Let's give it a shot.
But you know, if there's going to be any second guessing when you have it 2nd and 1, and why do you do it from the shotgun? So it's now 4th and 12, and this is the 6th 4th down opportunity for Kentucky tonight. And Couch has time, a lot of time, not so much anymore. Now he's going to run it. He's going to toss it, and it's complete. Derek Homer, but he's short of the first down, and LSU will take over on down. And Tim Couch is hurt as a result of this sack.
Well, he actually rolls into it a little bit. Williams, he runs right to it. That was costly. As you pointed out, they had 2nd and 1, but the big sack pushed him back. They had to go for it on 4th and didn't get it.
The blur of Miami's Edger and James. The power of Virginia Tech's Ken Oxendine. Miami, Virginia Tech next Saturday at 6 on ESPN2.
ESPN2's presentation of college football is brought to you by Las Vegas. It's non-stop action around the clock, and we're open 24 hours. And by BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
LSU on first down. Kevin Falk gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that is all. Meanwhile, on the sideline, the backup quarterback, Dusty Bonner, is warming up for Kentucky as they take a look at the jaw of Tim Couch.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 at the 45.
On the sack by Theo Williams. And now trailing by 21 points. You wonder if we have perhaps seen the last of Tim Couch tonight. And that is Mealy with about a 4-yard pickup. Jeff Snedeker made the tackle. And Mom doesn't appear to be overly concerned. Let's go downstairs to Chris Marlowe. Chris.
Well, according to the trainer, he's got a bruised lower right jaw. He got hit on the left side of his face. He is going to come back in. According to the trainers, he'll be right back in, and no letting up. He's going after that record.
Well, it's going to disappoint Dusty Bonner, who's been up warming here for the last couple of minutes. And here's the handoff. No, it's actually Herb Tyler with the keeper. And Tyler is very close to the first down at the 35. And there is Dusty Bonner. I guess he's about as busy as Steve Spurrier was, or rather, Kay Stevenson was in 1966 at Florida, the year that Spurrier won the Heisman Trophy.
We can't be hurting him too much because he's sitting there talking to everybody.
Yeah. He won't be chewing gum tonight. Here's Kevin Falk, and he's still on his feet. Kevin Falk all the way down to the 20-yard line. Now let's go to Mike Adamle.
Charlie and Todd, you don't hear his name mentioned in any Heisman conversations, but maybe it should be. UCLA's Skip Hicks from 20 yards out. His third of the night, a school record 18 for the season. UCLA spanking Stanford 27-0. What has happened to the Cardinals?
What has happened to the Cardinals? They look like such a promising team.
Well, they brought over LaRusse and they won the one year, but this year they really struggled.
Oh, that's the Stanford Cardinal.
Oh,
singular.
Okay. My bad.
1st and 10. And here's Kevin Falk, and that's touchdown number 5. Five touchdowns on the season coming in. 5 more tonight.
What a dream night. How exciting. Once again, they come with the blitz. Run blitz, missed tackles, and Falk runs right through them. In answer to your question, which you had posed earlier with regards to whether or not he was going to stay for his senior season, if he has another night like this over the next couple of weeks, I'd say,
why bother? The extra point is good and is now 56-28. LSU has doubled up the Wildcats.
It all started here before life passes you by.
Kevin Falk, what a magnificent night. And LSU has had 5 possessions in the second half and 5 touchdowns. All 5 on the ground, and 5 rushing touchdowns tonight by LSU is a team record. Derek Homer's return is to the 20-yard line. Next Saturday on ESPN, we continue our coverage at 12:30 when the dynamic duo of Tavian Banks and Tim Dwight lead the Hawkeyes into a Big Ten battle with the Great Dane. And then Florida State and North Carolina. That's going to be a great one. Next Saturday night at 7:30 on ESPN. And now here comes Kentucky with a mighty tall order. Here's Couch in trouble, and Couch goes down at the 15-yard line. Miller with the sack. His 4th of the season.
Charlie, I'm all for records, and that's a lot of fun. But you see the reaction of the mother here. She bows her head and is a little bit concerned. You're not going to win this game. Your franchise is out there on the field. Let number 15 get some game experience.
There's a call for Dusty Bonner here in the booth. 2nd down, 15 yards to go. Little quick out with Merritt Crow, and Crow is across the 20 to the 23-yard line. Clarence LeBlanc, he has been a hard hitter all night long.
He really has. He's made some big hits. Of course, he's the one that caused the fumble, the second turnover here in the 3rd quarter. And he was the one that knocked Mickelson out of the game in the 2nd quarter.
White and Homer in the backfield with Couch. 7 minutes and change. This is Couch's 60th pass attempt of the evening. Incomplete, intended for the tight end, Jimmy Haley. And this time, there will be a punt. Jimmy Carter is on, punted away.
crowd's actually booing the punt and going for it so much and having so many different fakes.
And as if Kevin Falk hasn't had a busy enough night, he's going to return this punt.
Didn't they have a, Charlie, didn't they have a 1-yard touchdown run by someone else than Falk earlier in the game?
Rondell Mealy, the 29-yarder to start the game.
That was
and Carter's punt, fielded by Falk at the 35-yard line. Now, here's Mike Adamle.
All right, Charlie and Todd, when West Virginia quarterback Mark Bulger goes to bed tonight, he's going to have a nightmare about this toss, looking for his tight end. Instead, he finds Syracuse defensive back Jason Foles. All he does is take it 95 yards for a score to give Syracuse a 26-10 lead late in the third.
What an up-and-down season they've had at Syracuse.
Really did. Early on, they struggled, and we had the game with Tulane that they almost lost there at the end. But since that time, they have just been amazing.
Well, they got off to that big start against Wisconsin at the kickoff classic.
Right.
And then things went horribly south, and nearly their season came to an end in that Tulane game.
Really did.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty.
But they had
first down.
But remember, if I'm not mistaken, that was homecoming, and they had visits by a number of prominent alumni.
Yes, they did.
Amongst them, a fellow named Faratzis, who I think really inspired the team.
Well, we have a replacement at quarterback now, Brian Sparacino. Herb Tyler's night is done. And as the crowd vacates the premises, Mealy picks up nothing.
Brought down by
You know, Mealy's a pretty, I tell you, as we get a chance to see the drift of the exits, I got to give Mealy some credit. You know, he backs up Collins, backs up Falk, but every time they call on him, he seems to do pretty well.
It is still amazing to believe. And here's the handoff to Mealy, and another yard or so. That at the half, Kentucky led 21-20. 21-20. And since then, it has been 35-7 for LSU.
LSU coming into this game was 6th in the nation in turnover ratio. Certainly that will improve as a result of the turnovers they have procured from the Wildcats this evening.
Mealy and Tyler now in the backfield behind Sparacino. And Rondell Mealy is across the 50 for a first down. Now let's go downstairs to Chris Barlow.
LSU coach Jerry DiNardo is a notorious pacer on the sidelines. Interestingly, he used to have a cable boy like you see in the ESPN commercials, but no longer. He is now wireless, and he is free to stalk the sidelines as he pleases. He's got a light foot tonight. He's feeling good. His team way ahead. Back to you.
You know, they got some good news, LSU did, prior to the game when Auburn was beaten. And the handoff is to Mealy. LSU will finish up the season at Alabama, at home with Notre Dame, and at home with Arkansas. It is not unreasonable to believe that LSU can run the table. Auburn, on the other hand, take a look again at the LSU schedule. Or let's not. On 2nd down and 5. Here's Rondell Mealy, and he's got a hole. Rondell Mealy is still on his feet. Mealy is finally run out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
Well, the offensive line, despite the fact that it's late here in the 4th quarter, continues to dominate. And the Wildcats just aren't making tackles. Mealy is as good as so many starters throughout the SEC. As we mentioned, every time he's afforded the opportunity, he seems to come through.
Now Mealy has 11 carries and 124 yards. To follow up the thought on LSU and the likelihood of them running the table in the final 3 games after their big win here tonight. Here's Rondell Mealy. He picks up about 3 or 4 more. At Alabama, and then they finish up with Notre Dame and Arkansas. And on paper, they are eminently winnable games. On the other hand, Auburn in the SEC finishes up at Georgia and against Alabama. So if Auburn should lose either at Georgia or at home against Alabama, LSU would leapfrog.
Well, as you pointed out, that is on paper. Don't forget, LSU at home against Mississippi would have seemed to have been a lock, but it certainly wasn't.
Yeah, that just really destroyed their season. Kendall Cleveland gets a couple more, third and about 5. So that I was going to say that LSU, or rather that Auburn-Georgia game in 2 weeks will be huge.
Yep. Now Florida State with 2 losses in the SEC. Georgia, I think didn't you mention, only has the 1. So
Georgia with the win today has moved ahead of Florida, and any chances of Florida repeating as a national champion went out the window with their loss at Georgia today. And here's Kendall Cleveland. Cleveland still motoring all the way down to the 2-yard line. Well, LSU coming into the game, 56 points against Akron is their season high. And here's Cleveland. And it looks like they're going to bust into the 60s here with 3 minutes left.
1 more yard, Charlie, and they will have gone over 400 yards rushing.
Ouch. Well, talking to Mike Major, Kentucky's defensive coordinator, he made no bones about the fact that his brother, and here's a touchdown for Rondell Mealy. What a night. The difficulty his team, rather small defensive front, had in stopping the run, and LSU has just blown it open here in the second half. Hal Mumme next year has 25 scholarships at his disposal. Told us yesterday 17 of them will go toward defensive players. Doesn't have to worry much about the offense, not as long as he's got Tim Couch there. Well, the extra point for LSU, they have busted into the 60s. 63-28. 91 points tonight. 2/3 of them scored by LSU, and 42 of them here in the second half. Danny Boyd's kickoff will stay in bounds.
Wow.
And Kenneth Grant is down at the 11-yard line. Now here's Mike Adamle. Mike?
Well, Charlie and Todd, after this topsy-turvy day in the SEC, let's take a look at the standings. Georgia indeed in the lead with a 5-1 conference record, but remember they've played 1 more game than Tennessee, which the Volunteers will make up. Plus the Volunteers have beaten Georgia this season. In the SEC West, after tonight is over, Auburn and LSU will be tied at 4-2. But again, Auburn has beaten the Tigers this year, which gives them a leg up in the conference standings. Guys?
And look at the job Jackie Sherrill has quietly done down there. 6-2 on the season, 3-2 now in the SEC. And LSU getting a new lease on life tonight with Auburn having lost, and the Tigers' big win. That's Kenneth Grant across the 20 to the 21-yard line. So meanwhile, the team, Kentucky, is trailing by 35 points, and Tim Couch is still in the lineup. Got to question that.
Certainly do, if for no other reason than even if they are just handing the ball off and trying to get some runs, why not give Bonner the opportunity to get some playing time, get his feet wet, feel good about himself, get some experience.
Tell you what, I've never seen 59,000 fans vacate the premises so quickly. Well, here's Couch going to throw it anyway, and the pass is complete. Gary Davis.
Couch's pass.
And Davis is to the 42-yard line. Pick up a 21 on the play. Clock continues to run once they get the markers in place.
First and 10 for Kentucky at the 42.
There's some Hardy fans still hanging here.
Interesting, too, though, if Couch is going to remain in the game, I'm curious as to why he's under center. Maybe Mumme just decided to experiment with something.
And he's passing incomplete, intended for Jimmy Robinson. And the players of the game, sponsored by National Car Rental. Kevin Falk. Oh, what a night he had doubling his touchdown output for the season. He now has 10 after the 5 tonight. And Tim Couch, 368 yards, 4 touchdowns, but a couple of picks. 38 out of 62. 2nd and 10. And there's the pass, and it's complete to Jimmy Robinson. He stays inbound, and mercifully the clock continues to run.
Complete to number 9, Jimmy Robinson.
It is 3rd down, and about 4 to go.
Gain 5, 3rd and 5.
There's a chill wind blowing here tonight. And here's Grant to the 45-yard line, and Clarence LeBlanc is still there to make the play. And Monty Gatlin also made the tackle. The wind is blowing, and a cold front has clearly blown through. And that cold front here has been the LSU Bengal Tigers. Boy, they have just had a field day in the 2nd half. Couch's pass over the middle. Oh, that's some catch by Jimmy Robinson, isn't it?
Really is. Showed a lot of courage, too, right in the middle of the field to extend his body like that, and the Tiger is down.
Pick up 27 yards on the play. Can't tell who it is.
At the 19-yard line, 1st and 10 for Kentucky. Officials timeout.
And with less than a minute to go, and a 35-point lead.
To the press box elevator behind section 125.
It makes the injury to this Tiger, and we can't tell who it is yet,
behind section 125.
all the sadder. Next Saturday, hanging around the house, not to worry. Got NFL, ESPN. The college football package, it can't be duplicated. The ESPN game plan. For $11.95, you see up to 10 great college football games not on TV in your area ordinarily. Call the cable operator or DirecTV. It was Rayon Hill who was injured, and he got off under his own steam. Thankfully, it is 1st and 10. And here's Couch, and the pass is complete to Kevin Coleman, and the clock stops with 32 seconds left. Couch on the night, 41 of 65 for 410 yards.
Now, if he gets another completion, Charlie, the 41 completions that he had last week against Georgia was an SEC record. If he gets another one, gee, I think that'll be a record, too.
Every week this season, Tim Couch has broken either a Kentucky or SEC record. This time, he is brought under by Monty Gatlin and Johnny Mitchell.
Tim Couch tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
We're going to take a break and come back with the final 24 seconds.
It all started here.
Pretty White with the carry, and the clock continues to run, and the question continues to be asked, trailing by 35 with 20 seconds to go. Why do you call timeout? Meanwhile, an LSU player seems to be down.
Timeout, Kentucky.
And Kentucky's calling another timeout? They're not going to score 35 points in 15 seconds.
Well, I think the word that you've used throughout this contest, which seems apt here, is unconventional.
Yes.
So, I mean, why change now?
Well, Jerry DiNardo, he's feeling pretty good as his Tigers go to 6-2 and 4-2 in the SEC. And Hal Mummy's team falls to 4-5.
You know, the 43 points that LSU scored in the 2nd half, I don't have the book in front of me, but that's certainly got to be a record of some sorts, I would think. 21-20, wasn't it?
Yeah. Seems like such a long time ago. That's probably because it was. On 4th down. Well, Here's Couch throwing again, and it's intercepted. Cedric Donaldson. Oh, he nearly busted it for Cedric Donaldson. His 7th interception of the season, the 3rd of the night against Couch. And mercifully, there's not much time left.
Well, there's a guy that's happy. There's a guy that's happy that they did call the timeout so he can get another pick and pad his stats.
And he nearly busted it, too. Cedric Donaldson. And so we have finally come to the end of what had been just a tremendous first half. And then 6 consecutive touchdowns by LSU. This game has come to an end. 63-28. LSU on a big night for Kevin Falk. For Todd Christensen and Chris Marlowe, Charlie Stoddard saying goodbye from Lexington, Kentucky. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the campus of the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa, not far from the Denny chimes. We'll find out for whom the bell tolls today at Bryant-Denny Stadium, where the 12 national championships for Alabama are a distant memory. The 97 squad has been a major disappointment, but today Alabama hosts a crucial Southeastern Conference game against the 12th-ranked Tigers of LSU. Here comes Alabama with a record of 4-4 off a disappointing homecoming loss last week against Louisiana Tech. And Jerry DiNardo and the LSU Tigers entering this game off a rousing victory last week at Kentucky. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Sean McDonough. It's great to have you with us for NASDAQ College Football right here on CBS Sports. Jerry DiNardo, a little bit frustrated by his team's play this season despite the 6-2 record and number 12 ranking. His team has been very inconsistent. This week, he asked his team, is it possible you can play 2 strong games in a row? We'll have that question answered today. Meanwhile, it's been a disappointing first season for Mike Dubose as head coach at Alabama. The record is 4-4, and yesterday we spoke with him about the Alabama problems this year.
Well, I think the thing we've got to do is we've got to coach and we've got to play like we're capable of. That's the bottom line, and I don't think we have. I don't think we've coached, and that starts with me. I don't think we've coached as well as we're capable of coaching. I don't think we've played as well as we're capable of playing, and that's the bottom line. That's where the focus has got to be. We've got to get back. We've got to understand that each one of us has a job to do.
They haven't coached or played as well as they would like, but Alabama controls its own destiny in the Western Division of the Southeastern Conference. They have 3 games remaining. Those 3 are against Auburn, LSU, and Mississippi State. So if they win all 3, they'll go to Atlanta for the Southeastern Conference Championship game despite all of the disappointments this year. I'm joined by Terry Donahue. Coach, when we think about Alabama, we think about a fine running game, and the Tide has that again this year.
Well, Alabama will try to run the ball right at LSU today. They have 2 fine tailbacks, Curtis Alexander and Dennis Riddle. They'll try to control the line of scrimmage and the clock, keep their young defense off the field, and mix in some play action passing. That's how they think they can win the game.
And that young defense has been the major problem for Alabama this season. Crimson Tide has yielded 20 or more points in 4 straight games. That's the first time that's happened since 1956, before Bear Bryant was the coach here. Meanwhile, at LSU, once again this year, a strong running attack led by Kevin Falk.
Well, LSU's the best rushing team in the Southeastern Conference. Kevin Falk, their all-purpose tailback. They want to get him the ball as many ways as they can. Hand it to him, throw it to him, let him return kicks, whatever it takes. He's their guy, but be careful of the quarterback, Herb Tyler, as well. He's an improved thrower over a year ago. He can run the option play. He scrambles out of the pocket, and Alabama better contain Herb Tyler. He might be the key for LSU.
As you might expect at this time of the year, both teams are a little bit banged up. off with more on that story. Here's Michelle Tafoya.
Well, yeah, guys, Alabama's been battling injuries all season long, but this week their defense took some more hits. In last week's loss to Louisiana Tech, both defensive ends were hurt. Reggie Grimes out for the season with a broken tibia. Chris Hood sprained his left ankle. He will only play in selected situations today. In the secondary, Deshae Townsend limited by a severely pulled hamstring. Fernando Bryant will play despite breaking his left hand in Wednesday's practice. And on offense, running back Sean Alexander is slowed by a bruised foot. Last year at LSU, Alexander had a record-setting day, running for 291 yards and 4 touchdowns as the Tide shut out the Tigers 26-0. But it will be Curtis Alexander getting most of the carries today. Guys?
Overcast and cool day here in Tuscaloosa. The temperature at kickoff 56 degrees. And the breeze out of the southeast at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Alabama won the toss and deferred. LSU decided to receive the opening kickoff. So Kevin Falk is waiting for the kick from Jonah Disputes. Both teams alive in the race for the Western Division title in the Southeastern Conference. This is a pivotal game, and the kickoff goes out of bounds. We might see that more than once today. They don't want to give Falk a chance for the run back. So LSU will begin with outstanding field position at the 35-yard line, led by the junior quarterback Herb Tyler. He's from New Orleans, and as Terry said, he's much improved over a year ago. 9 touchdown passes, 4 interceptions. He's completed 61% of his passes. A threat on the run as well as through the air, and he's 20-4 in his career as the starting quarterback at LSU. Kevin Falk, the tailback, behind Tommy Banks, the true freshman fullback, and a rare carry for Banks on first down. He's ahead for 2, perhaps 3, and it'll be second down. Falk and Banks, the opening backfield. Joe DiMaggio, that's how you pronounce his name, as the tight end, a true freshman. Another freshman, Abram Booty, and Larry Foster are the wideouts. Up front, the strength of the offensive line, the center Todd McClure, and the right guard Alan Faneca. Lewis Williams, the true freshman, makes the start at tackle today for the injured Trey Langley. On second down, Falk trying to bounce it outside to the left, and he breaks the tackle and has a first down. But through the tackle of Deshae Townsend, Travis Smith and Steve Stanley made the hit, but after a gain of 10 and a first down for the Fighting Tigers of LSU. The Alabama defense manged up. Kenny Smith, Eric Hurley, Heath Panks, Steve Harris, the front 4. Steve Stanley, Paul Pickett, and Travis Smith are the linebackers, and in the secondary, Fernando Bryant, Marcus Spencer, Kelvin Sigler, and Deshae Townsend. Townsend and Bryant playing with injury. Bryant's playing with a broken hand. Falk again running left, and Townsend made the tackle that time, but it's a gain into Alabama territory for Falk. A pickup of 7. It'll be second and short, and LSU is on the move a minute into the game.
Sean, Alabama has got to tackle well today against this LSU offense. On the previous play where Falk picked up the first down, they missed a couple key tackles. On that particular play, they came out of the secondary and tackled crisply. That's going to be important for them.
And movement before the snap. Referee today is Dick Burleson, leading the Southeastern Conference officiating crew.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offense. 5 yards. Repeat the down.
The big freshman right tackle, number 70, Lewis Williams, is a man who got a little early jump there, a little early start.
Second down and 8. First possession of the game. Tyler slipped as he started to cut up the field. Got back to the line of scrimmage where Kelvin Ziegler covered him. It'll be third down and 8. As Jim Nantz mentioned during college football today, this rivalry has been dominated by the visiting team. Alabama has won 6 of the 7 meetings in the 90s, including last year's win at Baton Rouge. And the Tide shut out the Tigers 26-0. LSU has scored just 3 points in the last 2 meetings combined between the two. The pass incomplete. Intended for Abram Booty. It went through his hands. Michael Fagan had the coverage, and LSU will punt from midfield, and a hand for the beleaguered Alabama defense.
The more the Alabama defense can force LSU into third down and long situations, the better chance they have to win the game. Herb Tyler is not a great third down conversion type quarterback, so you want to get him behind the down and distance. The Alabama defense did exactly that in that series.
Jeremy Witten, who's the pooch punter, really the backup punter, but he handles the short punts. And the fair catch made by Deshae Townsend, a 35-yard punt by Witten, who's also a member of the national champion baseball squad at LSU.
John, I was impressed with the way the Alabama defense came out. Although Kevin Falk picked up some yardage, made a first down or two, the Alabama defense hung in there, finally got them behind the down and distance. LSU fails to convert. Consequently, they turn the ball over. That's the way the Alabama defense has got to survive today.
And the Alabama offense is led by Freddie Kitchens. The senior really improved on that touchdown to interception ratio this year. He was 50-50 for his career entering the season. So this year, 10 touchdown passes and 4 interceptions. And a problem with the chains. They're a little bit tangled up on the far sideline. Mentioned that the visiting team has had the upper hand in this rivalry lately. And Alabama has been on the losing side in 5 of the last 7 played on Crimson Tide home sites, either here at Bryant-Denny Stadium or at Legion Field in Birmingham. Bama begins from its own 13. Ed Sissom lined up offset as the fullback, and he goes in motion. Curtis Alexander, the starting tailback, he's through a hole and out to the 19 for a gain of 6. Tripped up by Kenny Mixon. Alexander and Sissom with a top NFL prospect Rod Rutledge at tight end. Calvin Hall and Chad Goss, the starting wide receivers. Up front, Chris Samuels, Will Friend, Paul Hogan, Brennan Meadows will alternate with Mookie Moore at right guard, and the converted tackle is Michael Ray. He was the center. Now out at tackle, they try to get their best 5 linemen on the field as much as possible. Curtis Alexander tackled by Johnny Mitchell at the 22, about a yard short of the first down. Now the Tiger defense with Arnold Miller, Chuck Wiley, Johnny Mitchell, and Kenny Mixon up front. We'll see a lot of Anthony McFarland. Just 2 linebackers, Charles Smith and Joe Wesley. Not a lot of depth in the program at that position, so they use 5 defensive backs. Chris Cummings, Rayon Hill, Mark Roman, Cedric Donaldson, and Clarence LeBlanc. Two tight ends in the game now for Alabama. Sean Draper, number 38, is into the ball game, and he goes in motion from the wing position. Alexander on 3rd and 1 has the first down out across the 25-yard line.
You have to be impressed with the way the Alabama offense has come out. Bruce Arians, the offensive coordinator at Alabama, has said that he needs to control the clock, control the line of scrimmage, keep the defense off the field, and keep hammering away at LSU. In that first series, that's exactly what he was able to accomplish. The more they do that, Sean, then all of a sudden they're going to come back with some play-action passing. Draw that secondary up into support, then the play-action pass.
On 1st and 10, Kitchen throws a floater, and it is incomplete. Intended for Quincy Jackson, their speediest wide receiver. And it fell incomplete. Arnold Miller was applying pressure on Freddie Kitchens. The numbers on Freddie Kitchens, just 52% for his completion percentage. But all time now, he's thrown for over 4,400 yards, and he's number 3 in passing yardage at Alabama, behind only Jay Parker and Scott Hunter. No score. 11:25 left in the first quarter. Alexander, very little there as he got tackled by Charles Smith with help from Kenny Mixon.
Slow hitting, developing counter type play for Alabama. They're going to do better today against this LSU defense running right at it with faster type plays. They'll have to slow the defense down with some reverses and some screen passes and draws, but counter plays are going to be tough against this defense, I think, this afternoon.
3rd down and 9. Kitchens under pressure and thrown down by Chuck Wiley. Back at the 19-yard line. 4th sack of the season for Wiley, a senior from Baton Rouge.
Chuck Wiley, number 55, comes on the pass rush. He's working against Will Friend, the left guard. You can watch him right there on the screen. He's the one that uses an over-the-shoulder slip move, just reached over the top, came with that move. That enabled him to get the sack. Excellent, excellent defensive rush.
Daniel Pope is the punter. And Tigers almost got a piece of it, but it's a good punt. Falk driven back to his own 27. Kevin Falk with a flag down, goes down at the 41. Flag thrown behind the play. Dustin McClintock made the tackle on Falk. It's a 54-yard punt. But LSU is going to back up for an illegal block. The flag down to the 31-yard line.
Illegal block in the back during the return. Just the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. And first down.
Mike Dubose, 44-year-old Alabama native, in his first year as coach in a scoreless game today with LSU.
These days we could all use more endurance. Say about 24 hours worth. I know I could. And now I've got it. Because now the Odor Fighter's new high endurance deodorant lasts even longer. New high endurance lasts a full 24 hours. No one else is this strong, this long. Plus, it's got this new Pure Sports scent. So now you can smell better, longer. Guaranteed. Or call 1-800-PROVE-IT and Old Spice will buy you a stick of yours. Hey, no matter what you're into, now you've got all the endurance you need. A full 24 hours. Guaranteed.
What are you thinking about out here?
I don't know. I just don't think this perm looks natural.
Perm? You think you've got problems? Take a look at these split ends.
Men don't really talk about their hair, but they do want it under control. Pert Plus shampoo has built-in conditioners to give you that control. So until guys want more.
That's it. I'm bringing in Fisher. He's got those nice highlights.
Take control with Pert Plus.
When we spread the wheels out a bit, moved the windshield forward a tad, lowered the step-up height a skosh, and widened the aisle a smidgen, we created a Caravan with 32 more cubic feet of room. It's remarkable what a few alterations will do. Now get up to $1,000 cash back on Dodge Caravan.
A company most people never heard of is changing the way we fight cancer and kidney failure. By inducing the body to produce blood cells, chemotherapy and anemia patients are gaining new strength. Helping to grow blood cells helped Amgen become the world's largest biotech company. Where do you learn about companies with such pioneering spirit? Exactly. NASDAQ.com.
I am an angel.
This isn't about a belief, it's about ratings.
It's always about ratings in Hollywood.
Sunday on 60 Minutes.
No score. Each team has had the football once. Each has had the punt once. 1st and 10 for LSU from its own 21 after the penalty on the punt. Swing pass to Falk. He demonstrates his elusiveness as once again Deshae Townsend couldn't make the tackle, and Steve Stanley did after gain of 9. Now it's time for Terry's virtual reality playbook.
Well, one of the things that LSU will do, because they're such a strong running team, they like to counter their runs with play-action passes. So they'll fake Kevin Falk up into the line of scrimmage. Herb Tyler, the quarterback, will come off that fake and hit those wide receivers on curl and flat routes. They're going to work the play-action pass an awful lot with Kevin Falk as the decoy.
Falk getting a breather at the moment, and Rondell Mealy steps in, and there isn't much drop-off at tailback when Mealy is in the game. He's ahead for the first down. Out across the 31. Let's check in with Jim Nance in New York.
All right, fellas, Duke and Clemson went to overtime at Death Valley. Clemson with a field goal in its first possession. But then Duke's quarterback, Bobby Campbell, under pressure, throws it right into the arms of Raheem Abdullah, who will run it back to close it out. Clemson's 4th straight W. Duke's lost 16 straight ACC games. Back to Sean and Terry.
They might have been premature in awarding LSU this first down. It certainly appears to be from here. And it is a first down for the Tigers with 8:51 remaining in a scoreless first quarter. Jerry DiNardo in his 3rd season as head coach at LSU, 23-8-1. Graduate of Notre Dame, still looking for his first victory against Alabama as a head coach. In 4 years at Vandy, he could not beat the Tide, and he's 0 for 2 at LSU. And it's Rondell Mealy at tailback, and he's across the 35 out to the 36-yard line, tripped up there by Steve Harris and Trevis Smith.
You know, we have an interesting matchup today. Both of these teams offensively are going to attack in a similar fashion. They both want to lead with the run, counter with the play-action pass, stay out of third down situations as much as they can. They're a carbon copy of one another in terms of their game plan.
2nd and 6. Still Mealy at tailback. And they'll stay with a good thing, but it wasn't a good thing that time. Paul Pickett came up quickly to fill the hole. Marcus Spencer also in on the tackle. No gain on the play, and it'll be 3rd down and 6.
The middle linebacker, Paul Pickett, comes from the left side of the screen, right in that area. He's the one that comes off the block. He sheds blockers, makes that play. That's the kind of tackle you want Alabama to execute if you're a Crimson Tide fan. You want to wrap those ball carriers up just like that.
Pickett comes out in the passing situation, and Tyler moved into the shotgun on 3rd down and 6. He throws a bullet for a first down. Larry Foster, their leading receiver, across midfield with a gain of 17. Kelf Bailey, a true freshman, reserve defensive back, made the tackle for Alabama.
You've got to credit the LSU offensive line with this particular play. They gave him great protection. He had plenty of time to throw the ball. Larry Foster, one of the better receivers in the league, goes down the field, just turns around, and the ball is delivered nicely by Herb Tyler.
On 1st and 10, Tyler on target again, this time to Abram Booty. And he was tackled by Fernando Bryant. Booty's a true freshman from Shreveport who's been coming on in recent weeks. He had the benefit of participating in spring practice with LSU this past spring because he enrolled at LSU in January, having graduated from high school mid-term.
I really like Abram Booty. He's a great possession receiver. He's got outstanding height, 6'2", and he was a national high school record for receiving yards and touchdowns. And this guy, I think, will become a great possession receiver for LSU as the years go on.
You mentioned his numbers in high school. They were astounding. He had 302 catches in high school for 5,867 yards and 83 touchdowns. All of those are national high school records. Mealy inside the 35, tackled by Heath Hanks. Kevin Falk has been stretching on the LSU sideline, and they've been looking at his right knee.
You know, I'd never had a chance to see Kevin Falk play in person. The first couple series of the games, he looked extremely fast to me and quick. But then all of a sudden, Rondell Mealy comes in, number 7, and there's not much of a drop-off. He looks every bit as quick and as fast.
Of course, they had Cecil the Diesel Collins early in the season, and he was having an unbelievably strong year. And looked like an early start by the LSU offensive line on that snap. Collins lost for the year with a broken leg, an injury suffered in the victory at Vanderbilt. Looked like Ryan Thomasy, who's come in at left guard, pulled out a bit quickly trying to lead the play, which was to be an option.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offense, 5 yards. Repeat the down.
Let's find out what the story is with Kevin Falk from Michelle.
Well, guys, he has pulled his right hamstring. What they're doing is trying to rub it out, and they're going to try to warm him up on the sidelines here. They say he is probable to return, but they're going to stretch it, warm it, and see what he can do. Back to you.
I'll tell you, if you're Jerry DiNardo, you sure don't want to hear that news, that hamstring problems have really hampered him throughout the year.
He missed 2 games early in the year with a hamstring pull. That pass well off target, intended for Abram Bodie. And let's check in again with Jim Nantz in New York.
What a thriller in the Big Ten. Purdue with 40 seconds to go. Edwin Watson looking for the goal line, and he gets across. They missed on the 2-point try. Now with a 1-point lead, Michigan State field goal to end the game. Chris Gardner wide left. Second missed opportunity in 4 games. He also missed against Northwestern. Purdue wins. Back to Sean and Terry.
Wow.
Wow.
And it's Michigan State on the slide. That's a couple of games they've had a chance to win late against Northwestern and Purdue, but they haven't been able to kick the field goal to win them in the final seconds. Tyler with the blitz coming, throws it deep, looking for Foster, and it's incomplete. Marcus Spencer was putting the pressure on Herb Tyler, and Kelf Bailey had the coverage on Foster. So once again, LSU moves into Alabama territory, and a 5-yard penalty helped to stop the drive.
Well, as you mentioned, Sean, Marcus Spencer, number 41, came with a hellacious blitz and really tattooed Herb Tyler right after he threw the ball.
Once again, it's the pooch punter, Jeremy Witten, as they're inside Alabama territory. That's Kelf Bailey who had the coverage on the last play, limping off. Kevin Falk trying to get loose. Still no score in Tuscaloosa.
Just when you think you know where the new Dodge is headed, they turn things around on you. Introducing Durango, a whole new kind of roomy, powerful, versatile sport utility. As you can see, the new Dodge is covering new ground, some of which seems to be covering me. Durango, new ground for the new Dodge.
I like being in control. With this new Dinerex, I control the cause of my dandruff every day.
New Dinerex Advanced Formula. Its medicine doesn't just treat the symptoms. It controls a leading cause of dandruff called Peel Valley.
Now that's serious control.
New Dinerex Advanced Formula.
I got a special treat for you.
Thank you, Mommy.
You're welcome. Now, don't be late, honey.
Good news. Reese's Nutrageous bars are now 20% bigger.
Sean McDonough with Terry Donahue and Michelle Tafoya back at Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa. This is a construction site. They're adding luxury boxes on the far side of the field and an upper deck as well. In all, they'll add about 13,000 seats to the 70,000 seat stadium. Now Witten aiming for inside the 5, and that's about as well as it can be done. Now you know why they have Witten as the specialist in pooch punting. That was a beauty, a 37-yard punt. right to the edge of the goal line.
Well, you talk about playing good field position, and everyone that has a good defensive team loves to play field position. And as you mentioned, that's one of the advantages of having a pooch punter. Sometimes your normal upfield punter can't spend the time developing the technique to pooch punt, so you have someone else in your squad do it. This is done to absolute perfection. Those pooch punters, they love this.
Whitten, also an outfielder on LSU's baseball team. Mentioned he was part of their national championship squad. They won back-to-back national titles in baseball. Curtis Alexander just did get out of the end zone. Back to the one, and that's all. Joe Wesley made the tackle. He's the leading tackler for the LSU defense this season.
This is where signal calling really becomes important and critical. One of the things you have to do, you have to decide, do I play conservative or do I let it loose? Sometimes when you're in this position of the field, a good play call is to drop back off a play action and throw it deep and dust them off, get them off you a little bit, or pound it out and make sure you give your kicker enough room so that if you do have to punt, he has room to get the kickoff.
We have one of the best blocking fullbacks in the conference. Sissom trying to lead the way for Alexander. Dangerous run going wide, and he got out to the 2-yard line. Rayon Hill up from the safety's position to make the tackle with help from Joe Wesley.
Alabama ran the off tackle counter power play, trying just to establish a strong point of attack behind the tight end. And the play is a little bit slow developing. It's a little bit deep in the backfield, a little slow developing. Dangerous down there. LSU almost penetrated and got the safety.
Gain of 1. Now it's 3rd down and 9. There is no score as we approach 3.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Dennis Riddle comes into the backfield. He stays in the block. Hitchens throws incomplete. The crowd wanted a call as Calvin Hall gets tangled up with Rayon Hill.
Sean, this is definite pass interference. Rayon Hill, the defender for LSU, just forearms him down with his left hand there. Calvin Hill, 83. The official just didn't see it. It was an inside hand, and he didn't see it. He thought their feet got tangled, so consequently he missed the forearm shiver, if you will.
70,000 other folks saw it. Daniel Pope in the back of the end zone. Another booming punt to Larry Foster. Foster caught it at the 45. And a late flag thrown as Foster was tackled at the 45-yard line. A 53-yard punt this time by Pope. Andre Short made the tackle for Alabama. Jerry DiNardo wants to know about the flag.
Generally speaking, it's blocking in the back on punt returns and kickoff returns. One of the hardest things to coach.
Illegal block in the back, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
One of the hardest things to coach is players not hitting in the back.
The new Dodge wanted to take the sport utility concept to a higher level. Enter the new Durango. Its best-in-class power, cargo space, and seating for up to 8 raise the bar considerably, as do its strongest-in-class frame and its stable, longer, wider stance. Dodge Durango, a higher form of sport utility, from top to bottom. Durango, new ground for the new Dodge.
There are millions of reasons to fly today. Only one that matters to you. At Delta Airlines, it is our pleasure to get you to the place you want to be. Delta Airlines, on top of the world.
Okay, they're gone. It's a ton of work, but we can do it. Meet the new Xerox DocuPrint M32. It prints 32 pages a minute. It sorts, too. And can staple like this, and this, and this.
We don't do all that.
Xerox does. Tell them the best part, Pee-wee.
Starts at $2,900. Now we can go to lunch.
The Document Company. Xerox.
A NASCAR doubleheader. First, the Grand Nationals go for it at their grand finale. Then the Super Truckers settle it at their season-ending showdown. Sunday on CBS.
Back at Alabama, Kevin Falk of LSU is back in the locker room. The training staff tells me that right hamstring strain that he's experiencing now is simply a re-injury of the injury that he had earlier in this season. They are massaging that leg right now. They will put a supportive sleeve on that leg, and they are hopeful he will return. Let's send it back now to Sean and Terry.
Thanks, Michelle. On first down, Herb Tyler on target to Abram Booty, and Fernando Bryant made the tackle. Very close to a first down at the 50-yard line. Dick Burleson signals that it is first and 10 for LSU.
The LSU offensive line is very experienced, very good inside with McClure, the center, Faneca, the right guard, Adam Perry, the left guard. They're very, very strong in there, right down the middle, and they're giving Herb Tyler plenty of time. One of Alabama's problems on defense this year, they've not been a good pass rush team, and they have to blitz in order to create pressure on the quarterback.
Even with the blitz, they haven't gotten there very often. Mealy up the middle, tackled by Paul Pickett. Mealy moved the football 5 yards on first down. It'll be second down and 5 for the Tigers of LSU. LSU comes into this game 5th in the nation in rushing offense at 277 yards per game, behind Nebraska, Rice, Army, and Ohio University.
And think if they had all those tailbacks healthy throughout the whole season, where they might be.
Today they've rushed for 36 yards. Mealy again down to the 41. About a yard and a half short of the first down. Eric Curley and Paul Pickett combined to make the stop.
John, it's early in the game, but you certainly have to be impressed with a couple things. The field position that LSU has enjoyed thus far in the game. They're winning the field position battle slowly but surely. And I'm impressed with the way their offensive line is coming off the ball. They're really attacking into the Alabama defense, and the tailbacks, whether it be Falk or whether it be Mealy, they're running downhill. They go after you.
Short yardage formation, 3rd and a short 2. Hit behind the line of scrimmage and down for a loss. Kelvin Sigler made the play behind the line.
Kelvin Sigler, the safety, comes from the right side of the screen. He's the man that gets the penetration. You can watch him right there. He will penetrate up the field, and then once he does, he turns the toss sweep back inside. He was unblocked. That was a blocking error in the design of the LSU offensive attack.
With again the pooch punter. We still have not seen Chad Kessler, who's the leading punter in the nation. Look at this one, out of bounds at the 2.
Wow, what a kick. And if you're Alabama, you're trying to get a little field position, trying to get a little breathing room, and you just can't get any room.
I think Dubose looks like he saw a ghost. He can't believe the efficiency of Jeremy Witten, the sophomore from Louisville, Kentucky. His previous punt was down right at the goal line, and this one goes out of bounds on the fly at the 2.
Witten, you know, he just gets to come in when they're pooch punting, and all of a sudden he doesn't want to come out. He doesn't want to give up that job.
Chad Kessler averaging 50 yards a kick to lead the nation. He might not get back on the field again. This qualifies as great field position, and the snap was lost by Lance Tucker. The ball is in the end zone, and it is a touchdown for LSU. Chuck Wiley picked up the free football in the end zone. Every game on the 3rd series for Alabama, they bring in Lance Tucker for 1 series to play quarterback. It doesn't matter what the score is, what the field position is. They bring in a fresh quarterback with his team backed up to the 2-yard line. He drops the very first snap from Paul Hogan, and Chuck Wiley recovered for an LSU touchdown. And it took the defense to finally score a touchdown for LSU against Alabama. Wade Ritchie. Now perfect in 27 point-after tries this season.
Every quarterback's hands are a little bit different when he gets underneath a center. You have to practice on the sideline exchanging the ball between the center and the quarterback. And the snap comes a little bit deep. It doesn't really hit Tucker in the hands. It hits him on the wrist, and consequently he loses control of the ball. A difficult position to bring your reserve quarterback in to take that snap. I know that Bruce Arians, the offensive coordinator, is committed to playing his backup quarterback at all times, and I'm sure that he took some snaps before he went in. But it's a tough position to bring him into.
When we talked with Bruce Arians yesterday about it, he said he always puts him into the third series, and there wasn't really any rhyme or reason to why it was the third series. He simply said, well, Lance Tucker has earned the right to play. There's not much of a difference between Freddie Kitchens and Lance Tucker.
Well, the other thing you have to remember, too, is Paul Hogan, the center for Alabama, is just a freshman, Sean. So it's not like you have a real experienced center in there exchanging the ball to these quarterbacks. So those kind of things are going to happen. Very unfortunate for Alabama. And you know, you have to, the Alabama coaches, they have confidence in Tucker. So they say, hey, we're putting him in. He's our guy. We're going to go with him. And you live and die with the sword. That's just the way it goes sometimes.
Tough spot to put him into, though. Fernando Bryant returning the kickoff of Danny Boyd, and finally good field position for the Tide out near the 40-yard line. A 31-yard kickoff return by Bryant. Anthony Skinner made the tackle for the Tigers. Part of the LSU success this season, turnovers. They've turned it around from a year ago when they were -7. This season, with the turnover, the takeaway that they just had, they're +15, #1 in the SEC. And 3rd in the nation behind Colorado State and UCLA heading into today's action. So Tucker gets another try.
Certainly the best field position Alabama has enjoyed all day long.
And the toss goes back to Curtis Alexander. He runs out of bounds at the 41, a short gain of 2. Rayon Hill chased out. Cool Kurt, as his teammates call him, the senior from Memphis, Tennessee, has had a tough time getting his career on track due to injuries. He's been bothered by groin trouble.
Alabama going to a no-huddle offense here, hurry-up offense.
And Alexander hurrying out to the 47-yard line. The ball came up, but he was down by contact. Contact made by Joe Wesley.
And Sean, the backup tailback, Dennis Riddle, 29, he is in the game currently with Curtis Alexander. So there's 2 tailbacks in the game, and this is what they call their sugar offense. It's their hurry-up offense, try to change the pace on LSU's defense. It's a very effective weapon to get into a game with.
They've used it effectively this season. Alexander tackled by Charles Smith with Riddle the lead blocker. It's a first down for Alabama. And the crowd roars its approval as the Tide moves the chains with 17 seconds left in the opening quarter, and LSU leading 7-0.
The disadvantage of this kind of offense is generally you move the chains fairly quickly. The clock goes fast. You can't keep your defense off the field. But if you're going to score points and move it, who cares? Get some points on the board.
Tucker throws incomplete behind Chad Goss with Cedric Donaldson in coverage.
You know, I think this is a real testimony to Bruce Arians, how he feels about Lance Tucker. Tucker fumbles the ball down on the 1-yard line. LSU scores. They come right back with Tucker, put him right back into the game, into this hurry-up offense.
Tucker, like the starter Kitchens, is a senior. Alexander again across midfield on the final play of the first quarter. The score, LSU 7, Alabama nothing. We'll return to Bryant-Denny Stadium right after this message and a word from your local station.
Hey Max, why just sit around when you could have fun in the new Ford CX2?
Nowhere to run to, baby. Nowhere to hide. Everywhere I go, your face I see. Every step I take, you take with me. Nowhere to run to, baby. Nowhere to hide.
The new Ford CX2. Grab life by the wheel.
Max?
Ever since I can remember, Jake did things his own way.
Nobody believed him when he said he was going to surf the mountain.
Snowboarding will never be as popular as skiing.
Yeah. Why do I use the car? I spent my whole life doing things my own way. American Express never questioned it.
For college football action, the address is CBS. Welcome home.
Morning in Louisiana. Thousands of families have already started their day with some members of our family. As events unfold that shape our lives, you depend on us to bring home the stories. Clearly, accurately, fairly. When night slips over this city that never sleeps, New Orleans' late news of record is defined by two talented, hard-working journalists. And when the week ends, our spirit of commitment doesn't. It takes an extraordinary team to build one of the most trusted newsrooms in America and to earn the honor of Louisiana's news leader, Channel 4's Eyewitness News.
It's so powerful, it's almost scary. Boo. The muscle car lives. The new Trans Am by Pontiac.
Watch Driving Ourselves Mad, Monday on Channel 4.
$1 million band at the University of Alabama. Looking on as the Tide faces 3rd down and 5. First play of the second quarter. Lance Tucker dumps it over the middle, incomplete. Through the hands of Dennis Riddle. So Lance Tucker had his second series as quarterback. It's been more effective than the first, and he might have another play here as he's still on the field on 4th down. But I think as we look back at the first quarter and the key play of the game, you have to question the wisdom of sticking to that. Lance Tucker goes into the 3rd series no matter what philosophy.
Well, it's a tough situation to put a backup quarterback in, but they have a lot of confidence in him, and here, you know, he's liable to go for it on 4th down, which is exactly what he's going to do.
Lined up in punt formation and moved under center. Movement along the line, and it looks like they were trying to draw the defense offside and succeeded, because as soon as Johnny Mitchell moved, the ball was snapped by Hogan to Lance Tucker.
'85 right in the middle, jumped a little bit. Johnny Mitchell, number 95, and Chuck Wiley, 55. They're the ones that jumped, but they called it on Alabama. They say they didn't break the plane of the ball and got back in time, and that's a judgment call. You train your center. He's the one that has to make that decision. Paul Hogan, 74, he's the guy that decides, are they in the neutral zone when I snap the ball? Sean, I've run that play for years at UCLA. It's a very effective play to get 5 yards, but every once in a while, it misfires. And in that particular case, that's what happened.
Kevin Falk back in action now for LSU. Tyler going deep after Alabama turned it over on downs. The man is open, and it's caught by Abram Booty inside the 10. Down at the 8-yard line, Booty was well behind Michael Fagan, who had the coverage.
We talked about LSU and Alabama wanting to throw play-action pass. This is the play-action pass. You fake the run to the tailback. Quarterback, you come back and launch it downfield to Abram Booty, who gets well behind Michael Fagan. It was a great route by Booty. He just beat him deep by a ton of yardage.
Kevin Falk still at tailback. Nice cut inside. Now trying to get outside, and Segler took him down from behind.
Boy,
Let's check in with Michelle Tafoya, Terry, down on the sideline.
Well, guys, Kevin Falk spent most of his time on the bench keeping that hamstring warm, but Jerry DiNardo came over to Falk on the bench and asked him if he thought he could return. Falk said absolutely, bounced up, put on his helmet, and there he is, guys.
And LSU is in business after the 46-yard pass play. Tyler to Booty. There's Falk running very well into the end zone for a touchdown. The ball came out after he broke the plane, and LSU has its first offensive touchdown against Alabama in 3 years.
It's just a toss sweep by LSU. Get the ball in your best player's hands, and number 66, Alan Faneca, he leads the play, and Falk puts it over the end zone.
Wade Ritchie adds the extra point with 14:08 remaining in the first half. LSU leads Alabama 14-0 on the 11th rushing touchdown of the season for Kevin Falk.
Eileen, she's been good to us. I reckon it's time I go into town and get us a new vehicle.
All right.
For someone else and not for me. Look at me! That's the way it's disappointment.
Leland? What has gotten into you?
I don't know, but I like it.
I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried.
Your heart's pounding, adrenaline's pumping. They light you up, and you go.
We asked some of Hollywood's hottest stuntmen to switch antiperspirants and try Degree.
What's body heat activate? Probably means when you get warm, that it starts working.
As your body heat rises, Degree releases extra protection when you need it most.
I heated up, and it cooled me down. I was on fire, and I was dry.
I don't want my guys to see me sweat. This stuff kept up, even in 40-foot-high fireballs. Dry as a baby.
Body heat activated Degree. Your body heat turns it on.
For non-stop college football, breaking news, scores, highlights, and complete stats for all Division 1A teams, get it on the net at cbs.sportsline.com.
Key play on the second LSU touchdown drive, the long pass to Abram Booty. And the Tigers lead 14-0. Marvin Richard waiting for the kickoff with Fernando Bryant. Bryant playing with a broken left hand, carrying that ball in the right hand and carrying it well out to the 36-yard line.
On that last touchdown, we had a couple key blocks. Joe DiMaggio, 82, and 87, the other tight end, Hankton. They come down and crush inside, open up that hole, and watch the fullback, Tommy Banks. He leads.